Hello and welcome to podcast number 46.
46!
We're going to catch up on the recent films and TV shows we've been watching before going over the latest film news. In the second part of the podcast, we're going to be discussing the most rewatchable TV shows. And finally, in the third part of the podcast, we'll be answering your questions. And so for those of you that are only listening to the podcast, joining me today is Linda.
Hello!
And Iain.
What up, y'all?
So, I just want to quickly jump right into one thing that I've been dying to talk about. Mm-hmm. Watched it in the cinema not too long ago.
Yep.
Top Gun Maverick. You know, Tom Cruise insisted to the film studio, I think it's Paramount.
Yeah.
Do not release this film to streaming only. Wait 2 years, wait 3 years, wait until the pandemic's over. Then release Top Gun to the theaters.
Yeah.
And you know, you might have been right. Because the film's already now grossed $1 billion at the theaters. And it's climbing its way to the top 10 most highest grossing films of all time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, who would have thought like a Top Gun sequel would rise that high?
Well, it had to be really unique, didn't it? Like, they were bringing back Tom Cruise and they were making a sequel to a film that shouldn't have a sequel.
Probably shouldn't, yeah.
Like, it ends kind of perfectly, so to bring it back, you had to do it really, really well. And I knew, because I've only wikied it, you know, don't lynch me yet, I'm going to buy it on DVD, I just don't want to see it in the cinema. But I knew that when I read it, obviously the story revolving around the jets alone, the action sequences, seeing them in the cinema, you know, big sound stage, big screen, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was great. It was great action, great music, great characters, great pace, great energy to it. Very satisfactory action scenes towards the end, and when the film was over, it was just like applaud worthy.
Yeah.
So definitely also one that was worth and worthy of seeing on the big screen just for that sound. I mean, sat in the seat the moment the music started up and the vistas on the aircraft carriers as the planes are taking off.
Yeah.
You just know you're ready to be taken on that cinematic experience, and it's worth it. Absolutely amazing.
Do you think there's going to be a Top Gun 3?
Oh.
Well, the fact that it has made so much money, they would be daft to not go, right, Top Gun 3, 4, and 5. We'll film them all back to back. We'll get Tom Cruise in and out of Mission Impossibles. And
or wait another however many years
Christ, and
bring him
flying.
back with his Zimmer frame.
Yeah. We got to send you to space, Maverick.
Okay, like how long has the film been out? Like 2 weeks?
2 to 3 weeks.
Are we kind of past spoiler territory now?
I wouldn't spoil it just yet. It's still in
I
theaters.
haven't seen it.
Well, no.
I haven't seen it.
There's something I was surprised wasn't in it that they didn't put in, which was, and like we said, Top Gun 3 might have it. I was surprised they didn't have Maverick's son.
Okay.
You know, like...
Yeah.
It's very character, based that he wouldn't have a son.
Well, I don't know,
because he is all about those planes and his love of flying, and a child would take him out of that cockpit for a long period of time.
Not if it was raised by the mother, and the mother, like, his love from the first movie is not in the sequel.
No.
I don't know. As having the Goose family connection, I think, makes the story that much stronger for it.
Okay.
So, yeah, doing Maverick and his son, I don't know. I don't think it would have worked quite the same.
Right.
But yeah, Top Gun Maverick gets 2 thumbs up from me. Absolutely fantastic. There was one other film that I had to go and see in the cinema. And Linda just shared with me that she's also just recently seen the film. I don't know if we have contrasting opinions on this yet.
Probably.
But I mean, pardon my language, I do not mean to get vulgar or angry, but that film made me angry. It's very rare I get fucked off, pissed off, angry in the theater.
Woohoo!
But Jurassic Park Dominion, in my screening, people were getting up and walking out in droves throughout the film, and we were pointing at them and laughing. And my friend that sat next to me said, "When are we going?" And I was like, "Man, I've got to see this to the bloody end. Like, I've got to see it to the end." And I wanted to start punching my seat. I was getting angry. Because I haven't been this angry since Sucker Punch.
No, you've been angry after
in my opinion, Jurassic World Dominion was absolute drivel. The action scenes were mind-numbingly ridiculous. The amount of characters that were dead to rights in front of a dinosaur, and they literally go, and put their hand up in front of them, and that's it. T-Rex is like, oh, okay, you got a free pass. You know, this dinosaur, this monster, pins them in the corner, and it's like, oh, what's that? There's something. Oh, you guys are fine. You plot armor. See you later.
Yeah, plot armor.
It was. I went to see a film about dinosaurs eating people, and what I got was an ecological disaster about this swarm of insects that are eating all the crops.
There were some people got eaten.
There
There was a man in Malta got eaten.
Yeah,
and that...
no, it was 3 seconds, and that was where me and my friend were like, yes, it's happening. And that's it for another hour. Linda, you have to say something.
I actually enjoyed it, Carrie.
It's fine.
Sorry.
It's fine. It's
Sorry.
fine. I'm not angry with you.
No, I know, but I took Dylan this morning, and I didn't think it was that bad. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the story. I love the characters.
What did you think of Fallen Kingdom as well?
Well, I love all the Jurassic. Sorry, I saw. No, I'm not going to apologise.
No,
I'm
don't
not
apologise,
apologising.
don't
I
apologise.
love all the Jurassic movies. In fact, in the lead up to this one, I've rewatched all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was, and I do. I just love the movies, and I didn't think it was that bad. So I understand what you're saying about in fact there weren't that many people who got eaten really, and I said to you, wasn't it, it was cheap. There was cheesy moments in it, especially trying to make the links, the connections between certain things that happened in the other films, like obviously the what's that dinosaur with the spitter one, and things like that. So I can understand that.
Wait, spoilers! I've just realised because
I'm not trying not to spoil it in case anyone's not seen
it.
Yeah.
No. Well, why not spoil it? But you thought it was good. You thought it was shit. Like we've got to try and recommend it to people to go see.
No, don't avoid it. I mean, the thing is, Jurassic World Dominion's already made all the money. Yeah.
Like I'm gonna buy it on DVD. Like I didn't want to see it in the cinema because after Fallen Kingdom, actually, in fairness, after Jurassic Park 3, I was like, no, I don't want to see any more Jurassic Park movies on the big screen. I'll watch it at home. That's where I enjoy my Jurassic Parkness. And then they came out with these Chris Pratt movies. The first one was great, but the second one, the mansion stuff was
it was ridiculous. It was awful.
Exactly. So that's why with the third movie, I was like, no, okay, honey, you go. And you were like, I'm going to take Dylan.
Yeah, you take Dylan.
Yeah, and that's
I think one of the reasons why I'm also so disappointed is because I love like Jeff Goldblum's Ian Malcolm. Yeah. I love Sam Neill's
Alan Grant. Get you like a bit in the heartstrings scene?
Yeah, a little bit, but then I watched them get dragged through this fucking giant pile of shit. But face first through it.
But they weren't going to do anything else. That's what I mean. You always say this. He always says this, ladies and gentlemen. He goes, I haven't seen any of the trailers. I'm like, if you started watching trailers, you'd go, I'm not seeing that in the cinema. Instead, you go, I'm going to see it in the cinema and not watch any trailers. Look, it was shit.
Well, I have now seen all 6 Jurassic Parks in the cinema. I go back to the first Jurassic Park film. I remember queuing for 6 to 9 hours in an endless queue that went round the block and beyond to see that film.
Then you've supported you've done well. You've supported them.
I know. And then they made Lost World, and then they made the third one.
Lost World's not bad.
It's not well.
In comparison to what you're saying with these, with
I don't know. I refuse to. I've refused to watch it for quite some time now because like Jurassic Park 1 is so good.
Dylan enjoyed it.
I'd be surprised because I mean, like Jurassic World Dominion at one point, it almost feels like it switches genres and it becomes like this spy espionage thriller, you know. And I'm so what is going on with these characters? What happened to the? I mean, I didn't see. Actually, I tell a lie. I did see the trailer. I saw the trailer like 6 times.
Oh, wow, okay.
Because obviously, I go to the theater a lot.
Yeah.
Jurassic World played a lot, and it always just showed.
It did.
That trailer just showed dinosaurs in our world.
It did.
And it sold it on the fact that how are humans going to adapt and survive with dinosaurs in the world? But that's not the film we got.
That's the thing.
No, that is disappointing.
So,
yeah.
And also the fact of, you know, when in all the other movies you've got kind of the big baddie dinosaurs.
Yes,
so obviously the original ones you've got the T-Rex.
Yeah, T-Rex, then 2 T-Rexes.
T-Rexes have now actually turned into the heroes of the film.
Yeah.
And then you had obviously the Indominus Rex.
The scientifically enhanced dino.
Before that, what was the one from
the third one?
The
Spinosaurus.
So these massive big ones, and then the one in this one, the latest one, wasn't really all that, and it was a bit.
It just looked like a bigger T-Rex.
Yeah. So that was disappointing, I think, is the fact that, all through the other films there's been like one kind of, apex dinosaur.
Yes, of course,
And the apex one in this one was a bit of a letdown.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was called or what its impact
No,
was. I remember the
what it's
T-Rex
called either.
moments.
And I saw it this morning.
Oh no. Oh no.
So yeah.
Oh, great.
But it was a fun movie. Dylan enjoyed himself.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you,
Yeah.
kids.
I imagine kids would probably enjoy these dinosaur films more. I mean, I was a kid when they started coming out originally. So yeah, I always try to remind myself to remember the kid inside that would enjoy these films, but I just got so angry with the writing and the characterization. I just couldn't. I stopped enjoying it and was waiting for the credits to roll. But anyway, Ian, give us something positive, something uplifting.
Well, I mean, like what I've been up to recently. Like I've made a list again. I meant to bring this up last time at the beginning of the podcast, and I failed to bring it up, and then something happened, which was a bit sad, which we will go into. But I completed Vice City for the first time because I bought the GTA trilogy. I know everyone's saying, well, it's a fucking pile of shit, Ian, but San Andreas, portable San Andreas, like that's all I've been playing for like the last 2 weeks. But I completed Vice City before somebody left us. Like I said, we'll talk about that in the news section. Got Evil Dead the game.
Nice.
That's a surprise success. I mean,
well, I was gonna say I've got Evil Dead the game on my on my to catch up list as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Saber Interactive have knocked this out of the park.
Yeah.
Like most movie to video game adaptations don't go well.
No.
Not really.
I mean, some of them are really rare, and then you get the audience behind them, which makes them stronger. Like Friday the 13th did really quite well when it first came out, but it just kind of lost the licenses in the background. And with this one, I saw no trailer footage. I was unsure about it. I didn't really want
it for weeks and weeks leading up to its release.
I didn't want another Fire Team. Like,
Sure.
Fire Team looked good, and then I'm like, I'd rather play Clone and Marine. So Evil Dead, I was worried that they were just gonna, like, especially when I kept seeing Bruce Campbell's name attached to it. I'm like, please, Bruce, please tell me that like if you're supporting this must mean it's a good thing, because this could be a career killer. And then it's come out, and the combat really works, the crossplay really works, the bosses are getting harder. It feels like the team behind it are working really well with the game as well. So if you're looking for just a fun game, even like we're playing it kind of together, trying to work together as a good team, but we're also been playing individual games where even if you lose, you still get the points to level yourself up, and then if you win, the victories are fucking...
I mean, I've put so many hours into Evil Dead now that I've enjoyed everything that game has to offer.
Yeah.
Like, I still have not played as all the characters, but I've played as all the classes.
Yeah.
I've played as all the monsters. I've seen the maps inside and out. And so I guess I'm getting really more competitive with it now. So
Yeah.
I'm watching the patch notes. I'm seeing the minor changes that they're making, but I'm also seeing what they're promising or what they're alluding to. Like they've said later this month, the Army of Darkness content is going to drop. So we're likely going to get Sheila. We're getting Castle Kandar.
Yeah, I've got to get the season pass.
But they've also said there's going to be loads more characters from the movies and shows coming in. More demons, more maps, more traps, more cosmetics. So they're definitely going to build upon what they have. And what they have, I think, is solid. But there is... The only issue I have with the game is that it's balanced enough. But if you get people trying to play the game and they go in with their character at level 1 and everyone else on their team at level 25 or in between, it's not going to be the same experience as when you have people that know that game well, or at least are going into games with an advantage by having leveled up characters. So I don't know whether that'll balance itself out later on when more people have played it enough so that there's enough, you know.
Yeah, I think it will level itself out, because after a while you'll only have people who are really skilled at their characters and know what they're doing. Like, I can run into a location now and be like, okay, the crate is normally over there, the supply crate.
Yeah.
You know, normally just these are the places where the map will spawn because we're in such a vicinity. And then you do get your idiots. Like, if you're playing Evil Dead, don't get in a car in the first couple of seconds. It alerts the evil to your presence, and then you're fucked, because they just attack you right from the start.
And
so.
don't let Ian drive the car.
Oh, I don't drive.
You'll end up driving up the tree.
Yeah, I don't ever drive. I run everywhere with my character. I did finish off watching a show, actually, Wu-Tang: An American Saga on Disney Plus.
Okay, I've not heard of this.
Which is kind of the biographical TV series documentary about the rise of the Wu-Tang Clan back in the late 80s or early 90s. Follows the story of the RZA and ODB and Ghostface Killer. But this will link me to my other TV series that we finished and completed. I really noticed with Wu-Tang Clan the Disneyfication of certain things.
Okay.
So the other TV series I want to talk about as well that I watched was Obi-Wan.
Oh.
On Disney Plus. And I really enjoyed Obi-Wan, even though I knew that obviously nothing was going to happen to him because, plot armor. That's just what I'm alluding to here. But while I was watching Wu-Tang Clan, I was
not talking about Obi-Wan anymore.
It kind of conjoins to Obi-Wan. While I was watching Wu-Tang Clan, obviously I was watching the story of this gritty urban drama of these guys who were learning their craft at rapping and music and learning the inside of business and things like that. And the episodes were really, really well scripted, well written. And the drama, the street stuff, that was really well directed. But at the same time, felt so unrealistic. Like it had Disney magic sprinkled all over the top of it.
And I just can't imagine Wu-Tang Clan and Disney.
It's Disneyfied.
But that's what I mean, Disneyfied. They've got all these shows on there. They've got connections to all these different programs. And I realised, like I said, with Obi-Wan, there's so many problems I've got with the Obi-Wan show. But it's to make these shows acceptable to everyone. So, anybody can sit down and watch the Wu-Tang Clan American Saga and enjoy it because there's at least something in there that you will enjoy. The grittiness of the drama, the realism, the music, the directing, the style. Same with Obi-Wan. I've got such issues with that show because I knew that nothing tragic could happen to Ewan McGregor's character. But it looked really nice. It sounded really nice. The music was good. Ewan McGregor was so important because Disney sat there and went, a little bit of magic.
A little bit of magic in that last episode. Where it finally became an Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
Man, what the f*** has he been doing for 10 years? Go to this planet. Talk to your master.
He's we had this conversation.
But he was told, go here and speak.
Yes, but he was devastated at the fact that he thought he failed Anakin. It was his fault that Anakin turned into Darth Vader. So he was sulking for 10 years.
I don't know. I can't get over it. That idea that. Because literally, spoilers, sorry, if you haven't watched it, get Disney Plus, watch it. But Qui-Gon turns up and goes, where have you been?
I've been waiting for you.
I've been waiting for you.
There's a bloody conversation that I wanted right there, whereas Obi-Wan Kenobi goes, you're the one who made me adopt this little bastard. Look what he's done, bro. This is you. You got stabbed once and died.
Yeah. I've seen this person get stabbed, this person get stabbed. You died
you died and you didn't want to come back, did you? You knew what shit you were going to leave us with.
Season 2. Season 2. I did enjoy it, but like I said, I think it's like with Jurassic Park as well. It's selling them to kids. It's making it acceptable so that parents will sit there with their children and go, "That was a really good show. I've got nothing to complain about it, other than he hid the kid around a coat." I would have loved him to have just got a droid and just shot the droid. Open the top, shoved it in the droid, and pushed it.
So she's going to be covered in droid entrails?
I saw a video on YouTube where people were kicking off that one of the rebels had shot a mouse droid. Right. And you watch it kind of squeal and fly off. Yeah. There was no need to. She didn't have to. Yeah. But they filmed it anyway. Yeah. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. I mean, I will say I unapologetically enjoyed Obi-Wan Kenobi, but I was having moments where I was not happy with the writing, not happy with some of the set pieces, and very disappointed that we didn't get the story that I kind of wanted, which was, him feeling guilty about Anakin, him finding out that Darth Vader is Anakin, and you know, that brief moment we got in the last episode was really strong for it. I would have enjoyed more flashback stuff, more about their friendship, which we've always heard about and never seen other than in an animated show.
Yeah.
So, like, there were so many great characters there, but I don't think they did enough with that. There was too many silly rooftop chases and under the coat kind of stowaways.
But that's the Disney magic, man.
No, that's not Disney magic.
That was just like the need to put action scenes in there to satisfy people that there is some action going on, that it's not all.
Yeah, I just think when you bring in Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor, it's a wasted opportunity to tell a good story with these actors that you've got back instead of doing the fluff they gave us. So I don't know.
Yeah. Season 2
didn't hate. I know they've said no at the moment, but I don't know, you never know with Disney. Although Kathleen Kennedy did go out and say that all new Star Wars stuff now is going to be in the sequel era because I'm tired of Bubba and Mandalorian and Obi-Wan. So I want to go back to my era. It's mine.
Yeah.
That no one likes it either. Yeah. Other shows to catch up on. Stranger Things.
No, this is
literally only just released the second half of season 4 yesterday. We're not going to. I just want to say that I have seen all of it, and it is good. But maybe next podcast we'll talk more Stranger Things. But I was very happy with the first half of the season. The month-long wait didn't seem that long.
No, it didn't.
Because I kind of eked out 2 episodes a week, so going up to
I
binged. Nice. But yeah, the moment Friday morning dropped, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get ready. Today is Stranger Things Day. It's what, 3-4 hours total.
Yeah.
So and it delivers. There were some questionable moments, but it still delivered and was incredibly satisfying. One more season to go. How will it really end?
Can I talk about a game I've been playing,
yes,
which actually follows on from Obi-Wan and all that? Is so Iain brought, was it an anniversary present?
It was an anniversary present.
Present was Lego Star Wars The Skywalker
Saga. Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I'm still playing it.
Wow.
So
well, I mean, those games are like,
oh my goodness,
notorious for
my
9
goodness.
films, mate. 9 films.
It's
I mean, just doing the trilogy took forever. I never even finished one of those.
Yeah. So I when did you buy it for me? April.
Yeah.
When it came out. And I've completed all the levels, the story mode, all the levels. So
nice.
I've done that all 100%.
Yeah.
With everything,
all the
kits,
hidden Lego
all the
pieces
Lego challenge,
yeah.
Lego challenges. They were the hardest. Like, to figure out what they are, you have to like find rumours or buy rumours if you've got enough coinage.
Right there. Yeah.
So did all of that, and then so once you've done that, obviously there's all the different worlds.
Yeah.
To go on to, and then there's all the different extra things on those extra missions that you get on that.
Endless
finding all the Kyber bricks.
There's like over.
So do you have like an overall percentage of your 100?
I'm only on about 66%.
3 numbers off.
Yeah.
It's like so obviously I didn't actually get to play it a lot at Easter, did I? Because we had family over and stuff like that. So. But I play it. It's my Saturday morning.
It's just chilled morning.
Getting up before Dylan's got up, so I get the episode.
It was Assassin's Creed.
Before that, it was Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which I absolutely loved.
But you were still collecting.
Actually, I haven't completed.
I don't know if I know anybody that's completed an Assassin's Creed 100%.
That's another one that's like a massive.
Forever. Oh, God.
You did the story.
I've done the story mode and all of that.
But it's the endless
it's all the extras that you get with it.
What 1,400 Kyber bricks in the Star Wars game?
Yeah, I've no idea. I can't. How many I've actually got.
Not up in the morning. Here's a coffee, dear. Here's your breakfast.
There
you go.
Sit on gaming
Star Wars
chairs.
Nice.
But no. But I've really enjoyed it. It's good.
Very
it's
good.
lovely. Yeah. So that's how I turn my brain off from work.
Yeah. Nice.
It's that really helps.
Games,
so I've really enjoyed that.
Well, I've got another TV show that I really, really, really want to talk about, and it's because it's surprising. I mean, I'm holding my breath and touching wood, but Star Trek: Strange New Worlds is amazing, and I could not believe my eyes when I watched this week's episode of Star Trek.
Right.
This episode of Star Trek took Aliens and Alien 3 and turned it into a Star Trek episode.
Oh, nice.
Where crew members have alien beings burst out of their cavities and die.
So there's
it is
guts.
bloody. It is gory.
Oh shit!
There are monsters running around. I mean, I couldn't believe it. And that this episode also killed off main cast members.
Oh shit!
That's how graphic it got. So yeah, but on the whole, Strange New Worlds as a Star Trek show. Like, original series, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Enterprise, Discovery. Almost all Star Treks have ropey first seasons.
Yeah.
This new Star Trek is the best of all new Trek. It's the best Trek since Voyager got home.
Yeah.
And so every episode has been something different, whether it's been a diplomatic mission, a science anomaly mission, an interpersonal relationship story, a bloody aliens story.
Yeah.
So every episode they've gone somewhere different, interacted with something different, kept a small thin narrative going through all the episodes, but every episode is standalone. So it has that rewatchability and it has a thread to carry you through. It has some of the best visual effects I've seen in television sci-fi ever. Great score, great opening, great performances. I cannot say it enough, because I mean, those people are like, they're sick and tired of like Discovery, awful, Star Trek Picard, awful, and all the rest. Like, it's not what OG Star Trek fans want. But I can tell you, Strange New Worlds is giving me everything that I've wanted from a modern Trek show. So yeah, I'm going to shout it from the rafters. Watch this damn show. It's worth watching. Anyway.
Nice.
Ian, you got anything else you'd like to update us?
Well, are you guys going to chat about Umbrella Academy?
Yeah, season 3 dropped all in one go.
I haven't finished it yet.
You haven't finished it yet. I watched it in like 3 or 4 sittings. When it was only when the season finished I was like, you know what, it felt very small scale, and I think it's because they filmed the whole season during a pandemic lockdown.
Yeah.
So they don't go that many places. They don't meet many other characters other than the ones that are in the show, and almost 90% of the show takes place in one location.
Yeah.
In a hotel.
But the
Obsidian Hotel is great, and So the characters are strong enough though that they'll carry you through Umbrella Academy really easily. The show seems like it's going to keep going, so not everything gets wrapped up, but it is a satisfactory kind of ending. You kind of like throughout season 3, you're constantly reminded that the events of season 2 for these characters was only a couple of days ago.
Yes.
So it does feel weird coming back to the show after like a year break.
I was thinking, how long is it since the last one?
I think it was over a year, maybe a year and a half. Yeah.
Yes.
So
because I'd almost forgotten.
Yeah.
Actually, about what happened.
Yeah.
So.
Of course, they do address Elliot Page, but for those of you that are curious or still watching the show, I'll let the let that answer itself.
Yes.
But yeah, Umbrella Academy season 3, it was good. Wasn't great. Stranger Things was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's one other game I want to talk about quickly before we move on into the news, and that was The Quarry, developed by Supermassive Games. It's the team that did Until Dawn back in, I didn't realise it was 2015 that one came out. And so this is their spiritual successor game, and it has a phenomenal cast. David Arquette, Lance Henriksen, Lynn Shay, and Ted Raimi, just to name a few.
Yeah.
And I honestly have to say, Ted Raimi delivers one of his best performances ever. I mean, it's not...
Ted
it's
Raimi
him.
delivers every time.
Yeah, I know he does, but I've never seen him so chilling, so unreadable or cold, but also hilarious, and just because we know how funny that man is.
Yeah.
So when he's playing a creepy cop, but he does a little thing, you just laugh because you're like, it's Ted Raimi though. Like, it's Henrietta.
He's not scary.
He's not scary, but he is. So yeah, it's if you like interactive movie video games, you're going to get about 8 hours worth. It's a fairly expensive game. It's like £50
Oh, damn.
for about 8 hours of a story.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, Ted.
But
Evil Dead was half
It
that.
has like 120 odd endings. Now those endings only variances between each of them, but there's enough in there for at least a couple of playthroughs, and then a year or two down the road, play it again. You might forget different things, make different choices again. So it has that replayability, but it looks excellent. And if you like 80s inspired horror movies, it's a great game. So yeah, if you love that type of thing, you want to see Ted Raimi, buy it full price. Otherwise, wait for a sale, and you'll hell yeah, you'll enjoy it.
Cool.
Awesome. I think that's everything in the catch-up
Catch
section.
up, yeah, wow.
Alrighty, well, let's jump into the news. Well, I don't want to jump straight away. We've it's always the sad news first, but we want to talk about Ray Liotta, who sadly passed away at the age of 67. Usually played tough guys or conflicted characters.
Yeah, Tommy Wiseau.
Often are not dangerous characters. But yeah, he played like a crazy ex-con in Something Wild with Melanie Griffith in 85.
Yeah.
He was memorable opposite Kevin Costner in Field of Dreams. He was probably the most iconic as Henry Hill in Martin Scorsese's Goodfellas.
Yeah.
But he's always had a noteworthy presence, though, in all of his films, including No Escape, Copland, Hannibal, Narc, Date Night, The Iceman, Sin City, A Dame to Kill For. So even if there were smaller roles, though, he still stood out. You still knew it was him.
Yeah.
But I will always go, that's the guy from Goodfellas.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Like I said, I completed Vice City last podcast, and then as soon as we'd done the podcast, a week later, he passed away, and I was like, oh, luckily I actually played
He's
as
not
him.
old either. 67's not.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Do you think he did a lot of drugs?
Probably. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know his
know.
personal life.
I don't want to say
But the rest of the Scorsese team are all doing well.
the Goodfellas, but the
living
Goodfellas
quite-
lifestyle. But then at the same time, it's just been natural. He was just so amazing.
The only thing I did find out about him was that he was adopted as a baby.
Wow.
So he wasn't raised by his biological parents. Which,
amazing.
I only found that out when I was looking him up after he passed away, because I didn't really know anything about his life.
Man, I absolutely loved him in Narc. I mean, like I said, the one major film I ever saw him in was Goodfellas, and then I saw him in Copland, and Copland was just really good.
That's great, yeah.
But it's like Sylvester Stallone and everybody else was pulling apart. So No Escape as well on that island.
Yeah. So it's a shame he went pretty young, but yeah, got a legacy of films behind him, so he'll always be remembered. So, first piece of news. This is the one that just seems bizarre, but now that it's had a little bit of time to settle in, I think I'm fine with it.
Okay.
But Joker 2, Electric Boogaloo, is happening. I thought this was fake news, to be sure. I thought it was just a joke going around on... No, it's not. No. But it's the fact that it's going to be a musical.
What?
Really?
Joker 2 will be a musical. Lady Gaga is signed up right now to play Harley Quinn. And the entire film is going to be a musical. And you know what? When I heard that, I was like, that's a joke, right? It's a joke. But it's official. It's official.
Does that mean you're going to go and watch it?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Like, I'm kind of happy that
What
it's
happened to Gary doesn't do musicals?
No, I do musicals. I just don't tell anyone. 'Cause, got an image to uphold. I like the fact that it's going to be a musical, because then it doesn't feel like it is... I mean, it's going to be a sequel to it. So Joker's going to be in jail. He's going to meet Harley Quinn, etc., etc. But doing it as a musical, I think it'll be really fun, because the topics are going to be really dark. So I guess doing a song and dance number with the whole thing could have this really weird kind of effect. But it also doesn't feel like if they did a real sequel to Joker that wasn't a musical, everyone would kind of be like, oh, you don't need to. It's a standalone movie. It works on its own. But if they do a musical, they're doing something entirely different. So I don't think it will be beholden to the same kind of, it's just a cash-in sequel.
Well, I don't get me wrong, I like the idea, but I really liked Sweeney Todd with Johnny Depp when that came out. That's a really dark musical, that's got some really dark undertones. And it's panned by a lot of people, but I'm like, really? Like, what did you expect when you were going to see Sweeney Todd? Like, 90% of Sweeney Todd's productions are musicals. Like you said, with Joker's production... maybe making it unique. I can't seem to get off the idea that it's going to be like not Rocky Horror, bloody Little Shop of Horrors.
Right.
That's great.
Yeah, but it might suffer from that. It's so good.
Yeah.
Like the first one suffered because everyone went, oh well, it's highlighting manic depressive people who are obviously justifying their actions for being psychopaths. I didn't get that. I got an origin story for the Joker.
Yeah.
This one, everyone would be like, oh, it's highlighting the fact that he mass murdered like a bunch of children on a school bus while dancing on the top of a top hat going, la 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 la, Bad press. Like, Is there any good press but bad
I
press?
don't know, but I mean, when I first heard it was a musical, I reacted similar to the way you both did. But it's
Yeah.
been a few days now, and I'm kind
I
of,
know you resigned.
I'm kind of
Be
happy with
interesting
that.
to see how it's
Yeah.
received.
Yes, absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah. So we'll have to see. I mean, who knows? The joke might be on all of us yet, and it's not happening. But here is something that is absolutely happening. It's another remake. But this one is Arachnophobia, and the remake is being made by Christopher Landon, and he's the director who directed the two, I almost said three, the two Happy Death Day movies and Freaky.
Right.
Now, I was kind of lukewarm with Happy Death Day, but I really enjoyed the second one. Because that one was where it was like, look, we did the concept, a horror movie Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Now we're doing it again, but they have a lot of fun with it. And so it's like, this writer-director, like, he might not be he might not be Scorsese, but he knows how to have fun.
Yeah.
And he knows how to write quirky characters. So seeing him do Arachnophobia, I'm like, he can do horror, and he can do comedy.
Yeah.
I just hope that the special effects on the spiders are as creepy as they were, 32 years ago?
Yeah.
That long ago.
That long ago.
Yeah.
So I hope they get the tone right. Now, I mean, Arachnophobia for me was as impactful as Jaws was.
Yeah.
You know, whenever you had shoes, you're like, shake out the spiders. Whenever you turn the light on, check out the spiders.
Sitting down on the toilet.
So it's checking out for spiders. Yes, exactly. Now, like, at least with Jaws, you don't have to worry about going in the ocean. If you don't have to worry about the shark. But spiders, fucking everywhere.
Fucking everywhere. Yeah.
So yeah, I can imagine that this is just going to terrify a whole new generation all over again. So I'm kind of like, Arachnophobia doesn't need a remake. It doesn't.
No,
but I'm kind of okay with another version.
Yeah, it does
Maybe.
it does need to be rebooted because, like, I've kind of really missed that movie and I've wanted to watch it over the last couple of weeks because it was just so fun.
Yeah,
like,
you've got John Goodman.
Yeah.
It's not Jeff Bridges, is it?
It's
No,
the
no.
other one.
Daniels.
Jeff Daniels.
Jeff Daniels.
And
And the other guy who's the spider.
Yeah.
The
from
spider
Stargate.
expert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's his name? Somebody in the chat.
He's in Warlock.
It's
Was it
Boxing
Warlock?
Helena guy.
Yeah, it's Boxing Helena guy.
No,
He was in Arachnophobia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've forgotten his name.
But they all had their quirky little characters in this really cool little town location. But my idea recently was, like, I needed to rewatch it, and then hearing that it's going to get a reboot, I like that idea. You know, bringing a really, maybe not a fully CGI, maybe have CGI moments for when it's doing really, like, have it jump from the top of the house down onto the roof of the car and scuttle along. You know,
Man, I'm
that'd
getting
be-
the horrible creeps already.
man. You know, like, or just like, yeah, like
It's
literally
going to be
have
crawling over people in their sleep.
have
And
somebody sitting down on the toilet and then just watching it come down behind them while he's
Yeah.
like reading, and then somebody
onto
will
the
come
toilet
in,
roll, and then it's going to fall down the back.
and then they'll come in and be like, "Hey Frank, are you okay now?" And he's dead. You're like, "Oh my god!" Like,
spiders pouring out of their mouths.
oh yeah,
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah, watching human nests.
I suppose it depends on how close as well a remake it is in
Yeah.
terms of the storyline and stuff
Because
like that.
Arachnophobia is pretty much a PG film as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you have a male or female hero? Like we had Jeff Daniels in the original.
I don't have many miles. I'm happy either gender.
well,
really.
that's what I was thinking. Because obviously, who would you have as the main lead as the Jeff Daniels? Because I like. The
I would
idea
get
of a
Sam
female-
Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell would be good.
He's one of my
Yeah.
go-to guys for everything.
Sam Rockwell, Jennifer Connelly as his wife.
Yeah,
And
nice.
Francis.
Who's coming in as the exterminator? It's got to be
who
Bruce
would be
Campbell.
Oh yeah.
Brilliant.
Well, no, he comes in, but he's killed off.
Of course.
He's
The
killed
exterminator
off.
does die.
So you've got to get somebody else in as the spider.
the spider expert. I was like
Expert.
the spider exterminator.
I like the idea of Frances McDormand as like the town doctor, but she gets killed off later on as well. She's supposed to be like Sprue, and she's always power walking and
Yeah.
stuff, but then she's like,
Nice.
off.
Yeah.
yeah.
Alrighty, so next bit of film news is sequel news. Apparently, Neve Campbell has confirmed she's not going to return for Scream 6. Now, I have to say, that Scream kind of put her on the map. She did films before it and after it, but
Well,
when I
yeah.
think of her, I think of Scream is what I think of.
Yeah.
But apparently, the contract offer from Paramount was insulting, and she refused the low-paying offer, saying, "Sadly, I won't be making the next Scream film. As a woman, I have had to work extremely hard in my career to establish my value,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to Scream. I felt the offer that was presented to me did not equate to the value I have brought to the franchise. It's been a very difficult decision to move on, but to all my Scream fans, I love you." You've always been so incredibly supportive to me. I'm forever grateful to you and what this franchise has given me over the past 25 years. Now, I'm just going to throw this out there right now. So this is my oddball guess.
Yeah.
This is blanket media coverage to go, Neve Campbell, not in Scream 6. That mask comes off, it's Sidney Prescott. The final Scream killer.
Why? What does?
I mean, did you see the last one?
No.
Well, then this one is
No.
then this one's totally fine. This idea is totally flyable.
I watched Scream 3 in the cinema, and I realised as soon as I sat down, I was like, I bet it's a killer really close to her. And what is that? Her half brother. I was like, that's so stupid. I'm done with this fucking franchise.
Yeah, I gave up after 3.
Yeah. And then Scream 4, Scream the TV series came out. I was like, no,
I mean,
I'm not
that's
coming
its
back.
own universe.
Yeah, true, but it was enough to make people go, hey, we want more Scream. So they made Scream 4. And I was like, why? This is so stupid. People are like, oh, you gotta watch it.
Because remember Courtney Cox, our cat?
No.
Remember Dewey?
No. The first one is great, but Wes Craven stopped, didn't he? Just like with Nightmare, he was like, no. And I took my hint from when he did Nightmare, and he was like, I'm not coming back
Right.
anymore. And I heard the news with Neve Campbell saying, look, they offered me pittance to come back. And like you, I thought, does the franchise need her? You know, is she Jamie Lee Curtis to Halloween?
Well, they're better when she's in it.
No,
Until you get Halloween Kills.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, who knows? Maybe it's for the best.
I think they might be better off parting ways for a little while. Neve Campbell needs to go off and do some other stuff. Get her value, show them that her value is at that level, that they're fucking piss, and they need to go off and make a film that actually makes the Scream franchise worthy again. Though we know it's just going to be some boy in a mask who's killing people because movies made him bad.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'll see it. I've seen the rest of them. Might as well.
You might as well.
Well, speaking of going back to the cinema, Spider-Man is coming back to the cinema. Not a new film, but No Way Home is coming back into the cinemas, and they're calling it the More Fun Stuff version. That is its official name right now.
Okay.
The More Fun Stuff version, and it's to celebrate 60 years of Spider-Man and 20 years since the first Sam Raimi film. The More Fun Stuff edition is rumored to have 15 minutes of extra scenes, either originally deleted scenes or scenes that will have their extended versions in the film. So about 15 minutes extra.
Okay.
2nd of September, they'll be re-releasing it.
Well,
that film already made a ton of money.
Wasn't it already 3 hours long?
Nearly,
anyway? So it's gonna be...
So it's like 2.5 to 3/4. I guess they just want more fun stuff with the other Peters or with Green Goblin, etc.
More talking, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, on the last podcast we talked about Justin Lin walking off the set of Fast X or Fast 10.
Yeah.
Now we know where he's going next. He's now working on One Punch Man, a live action adaptation. This is Sony's popular manga satire.
Yeah.
The series in 2015 did a lot to propel this character into pop culture, and now there's going to be a live action film just to keep that trend going. A live action? It's
movie.
A live action One Punch Man.
Oh, fuck. It's
not animated. Live action.
It's gonna suck. It's gonna suck so bad.
I've never got into One Punch Man. I like the concept. The concept, if you don't know, if you've managed to get this far and don't know it.
Yeah.
One Punch Man is capable of defeating any opponent in a fight with a single punch.
Yeah.
And he is so depressed. He is so upset because there is no competition in the universe for him. Like, no one can oppose him.
Yeah.
And that is the premise of the show.
Okay.
I watched one episode. I got the premise. I didn't feel compelled to continue following this character or the story, but it's a thing. It's a huge thing.
Funny enough,
maybe I missed on something.
I was kind of the same. I like the idea, and I like the art style, and I like anime, but I watched him punch this creature and was so... Like, it honestly felt like he was sucking the energy from me by being so depressed that he could do this.
Right.
I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. And he's like, man, I'm so bored. I also, I know it's anime, so, like, I know I'm overlooking it now. Or overthinking it. But, like, these creatures turn up and, like, lay waste to half the city and he kills them.
One punching.
And and then it's like the next weekend and everything's back to normal.
Really short fights then.
I think so. I watched 2 episodes.
Yeah, double what I watched.
So maybe I'll enjoy the film.
I'll give the film a shot. You know, I mean, I tried the show, so I'll give the film a shot as well. But yeah, I know a lot of people tell me I'm missing out.
Yeah.
A lot of people. But you know what I'm like with anime? At least I tried one episode, okay?
Dude,
I'll give it another go. I'll give it another go.
You're the same with me with Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul and all the other TV series that I don't watch.
I give them a go.
I'm missing it. Yeah,
I gave them a go.
I gave them a go. Yeah.
So this one here is not really much of a news story. It's kind of like a news light month, really.
Right.
But we're going to talk about Jason Blum, and he is adamant that if there's anyone on the planet that can get Robert Englund back in the Freddy Krueger role one more time, Jason Blum thinks he's the one. And it's also not the first time that Jason Blum's gone out in public or in interviews to say that he's interested in owning A Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th. He wants Jason Voorhees and Freddy under the same production company, the same house. He already owns Halloween and The Exorcist, you know, and it looks like Blumhouse, mostly make horror movies. He's trying to get all of these horror franchises under one roof. So if they wanted to do verses or matchups or have these films cross paths to keep their longevity as franchises going, instead of just, like the Hellraiser thing, where it's just like, we're going to keep making movies because we want the rights, because... but Robert Englund has also said, like, I'm 75. I don't think I can put the makeup on anymore.
Yeah.
But Jason Blum was having none of that. He was just like, look, I just got Ellen Bernstein back. She's 87, and she's doing an Exorcist sequel with me. So if she's willing to do it, Robert Englund, get your shit together. Put the makeup on. Come and do a movie. But right now, the rights to Friday the 13th... to A Nightmare on Elm Street belong back to the Craven estate.
Right.
And a couple of years ago, they held open auditions for scripts, ideas, concepts, and they were going to sign off on whoever brought in the most legitimate or the most promising or interesting script idea for a new Freddy movie.
Yeah.
But that's been, 2 years, and we've not heard anything from
Yeah.
that. So there's rumblings. People want a good Freddy movie, a late Freddy sequel that ignores the remake.
Yeah.
Come on, Robert, do it. Put the makeup on.
I'm trying to think of a good story that he could get into. Like you said, he's what, 75? So he's not doing any action sequences. We'd have to have a stuntman.
That's true. Who needs to put the makeup on and just deliver the lines?
So we're looking at Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, which obviously is the best one that I've always said. So if they're going to make the best one ever, which is literally going to be Freddy Krueger doing the lines. They could do it like Phantasm 4.
For those of you only listening, it's a hard disagree on the second part.
like Phantasm 4, where he travels through time and he sees Robert Englund, old man Robert Englund, where he hasn't become Freddy Krueger, and then I'm overthinking it now.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And next up in the news, this is probably most people's reactions when they saw this. I mean, we all know there's a Game of Thrones prequel show coming, and that's like, hey, who gives a shit? According to Ian, it's 100 years ago. We already know where it's going.
Yeah.
We already know who's on the throne 100 years after that.
Yep.
So who cares?
Yeah, who cares?
But do you care about Kit Harington and the character of Jon Snow? The one who buggered off north after the show ended? Well, he's getting his own show now. He's getting his own show. Game of Thrones will continue. So they're talking about bringing back the other... What are they called?
The Ice Walkers.
Starks.
Oh, Starks.
It's been a while. It's left a bad taste in my mouth. I don't like talking about Game of Thrones anymore. But yeah, Kit Harington has confirmed. They have confirmed that they're coming back for another show. Don't know what the story's going to be about, but we know it's going to be set north of the wall.
The more I watch you talk about it, the less and less I want to watch it.
But it's not even out yet.
I know. How
they
can
haven't filmed it yet?
How can a show that has got such a backing be so bad? Because
of how far it fell from grace.
Yeah.
From being the most watched, talked about show on the planet to becoming one of the most, having one of the worst endings ever. But there were people that were, critiquing and pointing out its fall in quality as it was going.
Yeah.
Until you were surrounded by the shit that it was, and there was no avoiding it. There's still some people holding on to it and still going, it's still fine, I still enjoy it, still rewatch it, which is fine. It's fine.
No.
Doesn't. It's just so sad.
When I retire,
it is just so sad.
When I retire and I've got,
And you've got nothing else to do.
watch.
Because the first 4 seasons, I will still say, are some of the finest, most well-produced episodes of television ever put to screen.
You say that, the Spartacus, I thought, smashed Game of Thrones into the ground.
No, not
Season
even
one of
in the
Spartacus
same
destroyed
league.
season 1 of Game of Thrones.
Ian.
You say that. You say that. I've never watched Game of Thrones. And I have
like
no
comic
intent.
book
Oh, no,
cheese.
didn't we watch the first episode?
But it's great.
I remember I watched the first episode,
we
and
watched
once
the
I
first
watched,
episode
they kicked the boy off the tower
Yeah,
after
and then that
having
was
sex. I was like, you know
Yeah.
what, I don't need it. But like I said, I've said a million times. I was watching Sons of Anarchy. I was watching Dexter. I was watching Game of Thrones. I was watching Spartacus, and I was watching Walking Dead. And all those shows, season 1s, I was like, no, you're far superior to Game of Thrones. If Game of Thrones continues and gets amazing, then yeah, I'll get behind it. But I'm watching these other shows.
But I'm not holding out much hope.
And it never did. The final season came. Everyone's like, yeah, let's not talk about the show. I'm like, oh, who don't want to talk about Game of Thrones now?
Oh, so now you just want to poke us in the ribs while we're down?
No,
yeah?
I'm
Let's
going
see
to
how
go
this
back.
works.
I'm going to go back to my corner and watch wrestling while the rest of you complain it was a bad season.
All right, I'm going to jump to some quickfire news before we round out this segment of the podcast. Rob Zombie has released a teaser trailer for the Munsters remake.
Nice.
Yes.
Now, I've not enjoyed much of Rob Zombie's output of late, but it's a passion project for Rob Zombie. Something he's talked about wanting to make for years and years and years is an adaptation of the 1960s TV series The Munsters. And it's basically, if you don't know what it is, it's about a monster family that are forever wondering why all their neighbours don't like them. It's because they're monsters.
Yeah.
But we're going to see the Rob Zombie spin on it. Of course, it's going to be starring Sherry Moon Zombie. Because why not?
Because everything stars Sherry Moon Zombie in the zombie household.
Deadpool 3. We know it's been confirmed, but they have announced that Deadpool 3 will take part inside the greater MCU. Right. So for the first time, because Deadpool 1 and 2 was by Fox, now he's officially part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the writing team have said they are having so much fun coming up with ways that he can wreak havoc in this universe.
Yeah.
They've said it's going to be 18 or R-rated. It's going to have its dark, adult humor and tone.
Good.
So not to worry.
Yeah, good.
And it's going to be anarchy.
Be a disaster.
But just like the second one, though, they are probably going to release a PG version for the kids that want to keep watching everything MCU.
Yeah.
So I think that's great. We can keep both fans covered with that.
Ryan Reynolds is just...
Oh, love that guy. Love that guy.
Yeah. Sony Pictures have announced that on the 20th of December 2023, so next year, will be the official release date of the next Ghostbusters untitled sequel to Afterlife. Jason Reitman is returning as co-writer along with Gil Keenan. They have suggested what the premise of the next film is going to be about. They've said that the teaser at the end of the last film is to let you know. Also, the working title for the film is Firehouse. So the whole film's going to take place in New York.
Right.
So Ghostbusters back in New York. The rumor is that Ernie Hudson is going to be the most prominent of the old guard, basically doing what Egon did in the cartoon series. Winston's going to be doing now in the live action universe.
Right. Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
I'm excited for it. There's going to be an animated Ghostbusters series, which I think follows the cast from Afterlife. And I'm not sure whether all the cast of Afterlife, if any, will be in this next Ghostbusters film because of the huge distance.
The new game looks funky as well.
New game looks really fun.
It's
another Evil Dead by Daylight, one team versus a group versus one. So that should be fun. But we'll see. We'll see. Just surprised you didn't fly off the handle too much.
Well, I was going to, but
that's great. So the next piece,
moving on.
Child's Play, the trilogy, is getting a 4K Ultra HD release treatment coming from Scream Factory.
Nice.
If you've ever listened to my streams on Twitch, I'm not sponsored or endorsed by Scream Factory, but I do like to shout them out because they do fantastic re-releases of films that often wouldn't ever get re-released. And so the fact that they're doing a 4K Ultra version of the Child's Play trilogy, and the fact that they are doing they've interviewed all the cast, all the filmmakers, all of the special effects team. There's commentary tracks from previous releases.
Yes.
It is an absolute definitive collection of everything Child's Play 1, 2, and 3. So, as a horror fan, it's like a must-own if you want more insight into the Child's Play movies. That, along with the news that Lachlan Watson has been cast to play Glenn Glenda in season 2 of the Chucky TV series. So, more fun times.
Yes.
Alrighty, we've got just a couple of trailers to talk about today. Prey.
Yeah.
Talking about Disneying a horror franchise. Now, I've always said I've actually not seen this trailer.
Oh, haven't you?
No, I've not seen it. I sat in the same room as Ian watched it, and I heard it. I was like, you know what? I'm fine. I can visualize it.
Yeah.
I'm making up my own movie.
Okay.
But I'm going to go see it. Well, actually, I don't. It's not getting a theatrical release.
No, it's not.
It's going straight to streaming.
Yeah.
It's hitting Hulu and Disney Plus on August 5th.
Yes.
So that's like just over a month away. Now, I'm worried that this Predator film is PG because I want to see spines getting ripped out. I want to see trophies being cleaned up, and I want to see, plasma cannons, people exploding, arms getting shot off. But Disney.
Yeah,
It's going to be Disney.
Yeah.
But the thing that rests my mind every time I get uppity like that is the director. It's being directed by Dan Trachtenberg, who directed 10 Cloverfield Lane,
Yeah, he did.
which was a really impressive, tight, claustrophobic sci-fi horror movie that did so much with so little. I'm hoping that he can do something similar with Prey.
So it's going to be the suspense.
The suspense, yeah. So rather than the gore.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if I want the gore, I guess I'll just rewatch Predator 2. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's fine.
I like the look of it, and I'm glad it's coming straight to streaming, because if you get a good audience the first day it drops, then the audience is reignited, and Disney will go, okay, now we can make another one, we can set it here and change the story.
Yeah.
I did hear that they're actually releasing a Native American language one, so it'll all be subtitled with the Native American Navajo. So that might be quite
Curious,
interesting. Yeah. And it turns out as well, I don't think it is a plasma caster he's firing off in the trailer. I think it's a spear gun.
Oh, okay.
Which makes it a little bit more...
So he's not
funky.
using super techie weapons
No.
compared to what he's hunting.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like he's using the weapons that he's
That prey.
hunting.
Okay,
Yeah.
so spear traps, net traps, that kind of
I
stuff.
mean, if they make
spikes.
if they make the Revenant but with Predator, that would be kick-ass.
Yeah, that would be kick-ass.
That would be kick-ass. Yeah.
Alrighty, so one other trailer to talk about before we take a quick break. 13 Lives. Now, we've talked about the real-life event, or the documentary that released a little while back, and this film's going to tell the life of the cave rescue in June and July of 2018 to save the members of a junior football team that were trapped for 18 days in Thailand's labyrinth of caves as they were filling with water.
Yeah.
It's going to be directed, or it has been directed by Ron Howard, and starring Viggo Mortensen, Colin Farrell, and Joel Edgerton. It's going to be releasing on July 29th in select UK cinemas, and will be released on Prime Video on the 5th of August. I think the trailer really just captures the real-life event. Even the documentary that released a while back they refilmed some stuff, but used actual footage. So, literally watching this film trailer, it looks just like the documentary footage. But of course, we're going to get these actors that are really going to sell you on the emotion as well of the incident. And it was a harrowing story as it was playing out, every day waiting to see whether they'd saved these kids or not.
Yeah.
And so Ron Howard, you know you're in safe hands with him. Viggo Mortensen, absolutely brilliant actor. So it's a real life story that's absolutely going to be worth checking out. Maybe not in theaters, but still at least watching the story.
Kind of weird, because to me it doesn't seem that long ago that actually happened.
Exactly.
This is the weirdness of COVID. It's
weird.
like it's this 2-year kind of vacuum of, actually like that's why I'm really surprised they've actually made a film so soon.
So soon. But I'm looking forward to this one. Okay, I also will say the documentary as well was also fantastic. So if you can't wait for the film and you want to know about the story, definitely. I can't remember what the documentary was called, but if you Google it, I'm sure you'll find it very, very quickly, very easily. Okay, well that's going to bring us to the end of the first part of the podcast. We're going to take a very brief break, and then we'll be back in the second part to talk about our most watched TV shows. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back to part 2 of the podcast, where we're going to be discussing the most rewatchable TV shows. Now, not really discussed how we want to do this. Do we want to all do our honourable mentions, and then all do our countdown 5 to 1?
Can I first explain what? Because it was me. Because I chose.
Of course,
this.
yes.
Yeah.
So obviously, Andy couldn't make this podcast. He's been a very busy boy lately. And been on holiday. Hi, Andy. In case he watches this back, he's not in the chat because he never comes in.
Yeah.
I chose the theme for this one because of obviously with COVID and being in lockdown and stuff like that. And one of the things I think a lot of people, not just myself, had done was going back, watching, using your time up to catch up or re-watch things that you hadn't watched for quite a while.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought it would be a really good theme
a good
to have.
topic. Absolutely.
To look at, and you've done like cartoon series, so we're not doing any cartoon TV series in this one because you've done that recent one about your favourite cartoons and things like that. So that's why I chose it.
Yeah.
So we've each come up with honourable mentions.
And a top 5.
Yeah, and then a top 5 each of TV series that we've rewatched or really enjoyed, etc. We would constantly kind of go back to and rewatch.
Nice, yeah. I got a little bit of trivia for you, actually.
Okay. Yeah.
That Netflix actually released some metrics and told the world what was the most rewatched TV show on Netflix during the lockdown.
Yeah.
Right.
And the number 1 most rewatched show on the platform was Friends.
Yeah.
I despair for humanity.
Easiest TV show you can watch
You
ever.
don't need to watch it on Netflix. It is constantly
It's everywhere,
on.
always.
It's on
On everything.
But the number 2 show was Peep Show. Number 3 was The Office, the US version. And number 4 was Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Right.
So there was a few other ones on there, but those were the top most rewatched shows during the
Peep Show was a
lockdown.
really good choice as well. Like I remember watching, I got into Peep Show like season 2, and I really loved the concept. But then it was all on Channel 4, and then I just got distracted and went off and watched something else.
Nice. Okay, so I think I'll
do
start.
our
honourable mentions.
Yeah.
So for my honourable mentions, they're on here if I've ever watched at least one episode twice.
Yeah.
But for the most part, most of my honourable mentions I've watched once for sure, and these are ones that I would consider watching a second time. Some of these I have watched the second time, but they still are not good enough to go on the 5 that I would really recommend. Here we go. Mad Men, Flight of the Conchords, Twin Peaks, Breaking Bad, Star Trek, any of them. X-Files, The Good Place, Garth Marenghi's Dark Place, American Horror Story, Supernatural, Dexter, Better Call Saul, The Witcher, Spaced, Misfits, What We Do in the Shadows, Stranger Things, Deadwood, Game of Thrones, Sliders, Band of Brothers, Bottom, and The Young Ones.
Band of Brothers.
So all of those, like Band of Brothers, I've watched like 4 times, maybe more. Sliders, I've seen, like Game of Thrones, I've rewatched like 6 times. You know, American Horror Story, I don't watch the entire show, but I watch seasons because it's an anthology show.
Yeah.
But now that all those shows have started to intertwine, it's made rewatching even more enjoyable. But yeah, those were my honourable mentions. Yeah.
Sorry, I need to put my glasses on. Getting old, I'm afraid. Need to put my glasses on for this one. So my honourable mentions. So mine. Some of these though are series from my childhood that I can like very very much stick in my mind of being series that I really kind of got into and had to watch and things like that. So there's a mix of my ones. So again, Star Trek.
All of them.
All of them.
All of them, all of them. And I have put Friends on there because I do. We joke about it, but actually, I know you do. Whatever. But if there's nothing else on TV, and if I'm bored, I've got nothing else to do, and I want a bit of a laugh, I will put Friends on.
Sure.
Yeah. So Quantum Leap.
Nice.
Yes.
That's so good. Battlestar Galactica. Both the original and the latest one. Umbrella Academy, so it hasn't made that one into my top 5.
Yeah.
Right? The Witcher, ER.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
okay.
I was
Loved
only thinking
ER.
of putting that on my honourable mentions today. Just how
I mean, I used to watch Casualty, but
Casualty
I
almost made it on my
preferred
list.
ER to Casualty.
ER was the American.
Yeah,
American
ER was the
one?
American one
Yeah.
with I loved that show. I was obsessed. Dexter.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've this controversial one, but actually I'd like to put like all the Marvel series ones that have come out, but
Sure.
I went through all the Marvel films and I needed my Marvel fix because I was like, so I watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I know, controversial.
You did, you did.
But I did. I went through it and I actually quite enjoyed it. Sliders, like you.
Yay.
Misfits, you put on that.
Yes,
Obi-Wan.
Misfits.
From childhood, the Waltons.
Nice.
Waltons.
The Waltons. I used to love, and the Sullivans, the
The
Australian
I don't
show.
know that one.
So this is.
That was like 2:00 on a Channel 3 during the week show.
right.
But this is because I'm a lot older than these
Yeah.
guys. So this is this is when I was a kid and I used to come home from school. I used to come home for lunch from school, and it was on at lunchtime.
Yeah.
And my dad used to prepare me my lunch ready, which was I was obsessed with the tins of beans and sausages.
Yes. Yeah.
Beans and sausages on toast, and watching the Sullivans.
Oh.
That's what I did at lunchtime.
Yeah, I had no idea what was actually going on in the story.
It
I
was
just knew that
wartime. It was Second World War, set in that Second World War. But it was an Australian show, kind
But
of
it's like-
before Neighbours and all that
You're
business.
sitting there at the lunchtime just watching this episode of this family talking about what they're going to deal with
Yeah.
the World War II knock on, and you're just like, I have no idea what's going on, but it's just really enjoyable.
It was brilliant. I actually really enjoyed Superman Lois,
Okay. Yeah.
and I could watch that again.
I watched it, but if I missed an episode,
What, the Dean
No,
Cain
no.
one?
Yeah.
Dean Cain and Terry Hatcher one?
Well, that and the latest one.
The latest one, yeah,
Okay.
the latest one was pretty good.
So I love all of those ones. Sequest DSV.
Oh,
I
yeah.
used to love that. I felt that
Roy
was kind
Schneider.
of like didn't go
Yeah.
on long enough.
yeah, was that one season? I think.
Yeah.
No, 2 seasons,
two?
but
Maybe
the
two.
second one he left.
That's right.
Yeah,
they- they
yeah,
got
and
in,
it wasn't the
Michael
same.
Ironside.
Yeah,
That's
and
it,
it wasn't the same.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Loved Wonder
Spin
Woman.
around on the
I
spot.
wanted to be Wonder Woman. Blake's, so some old ones now. Blake 7
Yeah.
was like, and I'll put in there like Space 1999 as well.
Of
Was,
course,
I
yeah.
used to love watching that.
Yeah.
Babylon 5, which I actually have on.
We've still got all the
VHS.
VHS tapes of
Wow.
Babylon
I've
5.
got-
I don't want to go off on a tangent because Babylon 5 is like a huge thing, but
Mm.
I know I should have got into Babylon 5. I like Star Trek.
Yeah,
Battlestar
yeah.
Galactica. Why am I
Why
not
have you not
into
got
it?
into
I
that?
tried watching like 2 episodes and I was like, man,
Because
I have
it's
no idea
suffered-
what's going on.
It suffered the same fate of Deep Space Nine, I felt. That,
Okay. It was around the same time, wasn't it?
Well, no,
before-
it was
actually
on
before it.
TNG, about
Yeah,
TNG
yeah.
time. But where we were used to Star Trek flying around on a spaceship going to different planets, with Babylon 5, we're stuck on this space station and we're dealing with the political intricacies
Yeah.
of all these species.
Yeah, but I mean,
We were like 13 years old and we didn't understand the non-Minbari
yeah.
war
Yeah.
and how it had a political
okay, so
effect.
I just need to. The thing is, I'm so worried about going back now and starting Babylon
No,
5 because there's so much of it
but
and
hear me
it's
out,
so
it's long.
dated.
But
Yeah.
hear me out. This is why, like, seasons 2 and 3 got a bit more actiony, a bit like Deep Space Nine's,
Yeah.
you know, Cardassian War, where they had the war with the Shadow. I didn't follow it. I just watched the series try to recapture all the audience back with these action sequences, while also trying to keep the diplomatic stuff that their
Yeah.
main audience loved. But it just didn't. It couldn't survive against like Battlestar
Yeah.
and Star
So I mean,
Trek.
I've heard that Babylon 5 is actually being remade.
Yeah.
So they're starting all over again, and I'm like, you know, I'm kind of excited because I hope it has the production value of new Trek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hope it retains the original storytelling from that show because I'd like to see it modernized.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
no,
but I guess,
that'd be
but I'm
really good.
I also understand the hate of the OG fans that are just, you know, like with Battlestar when it was remade, you know, they were not happy about it getting redone. But
Yeah.
hopefully I'll enjoy the remake show and I
There we
will
go,
go back
might
and
do,
watch
yeah,
the original.
see.
But yeah,
I've got
It's a
more, I've
huge
got
thing.
more VHS if you haven't got it.
I'll just dig out my
I know
VHS
that's
player.
really random, but there we go. So Doctor Who,
Yeah.
not the latest ones. So
I'm not a fan of any of it.
I've not even finished. Like I started watching, and I've not finished it.
Are you
Yeah.
into Doctor Who, Ian?
I was watching into the films when I was younger, and I did like the TV series, but I kept missing I kept missing it because obviously they would only show like a certain times here and certain
Yeah.
times there. Then it stopped for a while. I really liked it when they came back with the movie with what's his face from Alien 3. I can't remember what the actor's
Charles
called.
Dance?
No, the other guy who plays Golek. He's in the bed.
Oh, I know
with
you
all
mean.
the blood all over his face.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paul McGann. That's
there
right.
you go. Yeah.
Paul
Oh,
McGann
yeah,
when
yeah,
he came
yeah.
back, but he was in like a standalone movie, and then they brought the series back, and then
Yeah.
I started watching it with you,
Yeah.
and I started really enjoying it. But then the writing started to drop.
Yeah, and
And-
it's just gone downhill.
Yeah,
So yeah, so that's, which is a shame, I think. Red Dwarf.
gotta love Red Dwarf.
Gotta love Red Dwarf.
Gotta love
You can always
Red Dwarf.
watch a Red Dwarf episode.
Yeah.
Buck Rogers in the 25th
Love
century.
Buck Rogers.
Class.
Whatever he did. And then I'm putting a really random one in here, which Ian was like, I'd never heard of.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard of. Man from Atlantis.
No, not heard of it. Yeah.
Anybody in the chat heard of Man from Atlantis?
Black might
Um,
have.
So this was Patrick Duffy.
Who dat?
I think he's the drummer from Guns N' Roses.
No. So Dallas, he was Bobby Ewing in Dallas, which is another TV series.
I was going to say he's
What's
too
that?
young for Dallas.
So this is where I'm showing my age, I'm
Okay,
afraid.
yeah.
But
I'm just
Man
Benjamin
from
Button right
Atlantis
now.
was Patrick Duffy with webbed fingers, and going on like adventures and things like that. But
Awesome.
so which was really random, but I really enjoyed it as a kid. So yeah, that's my honourable mentions.
Very good. Nice list, Linda.
My honourable mentions, obviously Friends. You gotta love a good Friends episode.
No, you don't.
The one
Yes, you
with
do. Yes,
the
you
one with whatever just happens, and you can watch 30 minutes of comedy. Scrubs.
Mm.
Like we had ER, we had our Casualty, we had our Flying Doctors on BBC One at
We
lunchtimes
did.
as well, and then we had our Scrubs, which took comedy and really dramatic tones, mixed them together. My Name is Earl.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
when Jason Lee came back with My Name is Earl,
I
had to
couldn't
watch
even
every-
finish that show. I
No, neither
I
did I.
enjoyed it, but I never saw it to its end.
I did like the first 2 seasons, and then they started messing around with the times again. They've just dropped them all on Disney Plus, and I would like to go
Yeah,
back and watch
Nice.
No, that's cool. Yeah.
I was
Farce.
always wondered if he ever did finish that list.
I know.
Yeah,
That's right.
no, he ends up in a coma. It's
Oh.
weird.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Farscape, man,
Oh, Farscape's
I
great.
absolutely loved Farscape. It filled that hole
Add
where,
that to my honourable mentions too.
yeah, like I like when I wasn't watching Deep Space Nine, all of a sudden Farscape came along, and I had my whole new kind of Star Trek, Star Wars, Battlestar kind of show to
Yeah.
watch. Good old Bottom, cannot beat a bit of Bottom. You got to have that every now
Rick
and
Mail,
again.
Aid Edmondson, legends.
Yeah. Monkey, the magic show of Monkey. I
I
watched
bought
this.
you the set.
The
didn't
box set.
The box set.
I watched 3 episodes when I was a kid, and I was hooked to fucking kung fu, crappy
Nice.
special effects, people getting beaten up, and then you got me the box
I
set.
did.
I watched every single episode. If you watch the European released episodes and then you watch the Chinese episodes with the subtitles, they are so weird. Yeah, it's like TV gone mad. Sequest DSV, absolutely love that. Star
Great.
Trek Under the Sea, Red Dwarf. I moved this off my top 5 list, but The Walking Dead.
So what, back to your honourable mentions?
This is on my own.
So
Honourable
what
mentions.
caused it to fall off the list?
Well, it was at number 5, and it was always. I'll always remember The Walking Dead. It's going to be like the one show that I'll always remember for the rest of my life, and we never believed that a zombie TV series could ever come along. And then episode after episode, people would die. Like, I remember when Herschel died outside the prison. That hurt.
Oh yeah.
You know, I remember when not Daryl, was Dale, when Dale got
yeah.
gutted. You know, I remember when what's Glenn's Maggie's sister, when she died after she came out of the hospital, and we kept her alive for like 3 fucking episodes, and then she blew her fucking brains out for no fucking reason. When the guy died in the revolving door. You know, like, there's reasons why I can't go back and watch this series.
Because it was too brutal.
But
Like,
they
it's too traumatic.
They just kept killing off
But
really
there's
popular characters.
Oh, I know, but
110
that's-
reasons to go back and re-watch that series, because it's just...
But I mean, well, we'll get into The Walking
Yeah,
Dead a little bit
we
more in a
will,
bit.
we will. that's and any animated TV kids show I could rewatch.
Sure.
Like, I recently bought
Oh my god.
I bought Thunderbird complete DVD box set, Captain Scarlet complete DVD box set, Space Precinct complete box set. I've got that with my Batman animated box set and my 1966
I thought I'd put a ban on him buying more.
Yeah. But I did. I bought that. So.
You did.
Nice. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, so shall we move on to... Shall we all do our fives?
Do our
We're
fives,
starting from
yes.
5.
Yeah, and then counting down to our number 1.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so my number 5, it actually is my number 5 on my list, Ian.
Yes.
Is The Walking Dead.
Walking Dead.
Now, I've not rewatched all of it, but what I used to do, like up until like season 7, was like season 2's coming out, watch all of season 1, then watch season 2. Season
Yes.
3's coming out,
Yeah.
watch season 1 and 2, then season 3. Season 4's coming out, 1, 2, 3, then 4.
Yeah.
And I kept doing it all the way, until then Fear the Walking Dead was out, and both shows I was like, I'm not rewatching all of it now because I'll never get to the new season. Like 10 seasons, like no, it's too much. Especially 24. Some of the seasons are 24 episodes. Like Game of Thrones, redo them all before each new season. It's like 10 episodes, it's fine. But 24, you're like, jeez, no, I can't watch that many. So occasionally now we'll rewatch specific episodes, specific character episodes, action ones or particular gory ones, or ones that have like the one where they have to go through the collapsed tunnel and there's like the bub lookalike zombie in there.
Yeah.
The first Negan episode, or certain episodes here and there. But I think even when the show ends this year, like later on this year, when the whole show is ended, there's another spin-off show in the works. There's other shows, like the Walking Dead universe is going to continue, but the main show will be ended. So I think following Rick's journey with his family, up until the point that Rick and his family are no longer in the show, except his daughter, whether it's his biologically or not, is the only one of from that family left. But you follow all the other characters through that journey, the ones that they pick up along the way. So even though Rick Grimes is left, Michonne is left, there are still so many great characters left in the show that even though there's a drop-off point for everybody, for someone who loves that genre and that type of apocalypse, I think it's a great show to rewatch, to watch, to get invested in those characters. And I know some people go, it's way too talky. Like, that's kind of what I'm there for. It's like, I want to bond with these characters and see how they interact in this environment. That's what I love about zombie apocalypse shows, is that there is an endless mishmash of characters and how they overcome situations and how they conflict with each other. And I think that's the show's biggest strength. The fact that they've been so inventive with the villain of the month or of the year. Even though I agree Negan was there for too long, I think The Walking Dead is a quality show. I will agree that it did dip, but I think it's going out. I hope it goes out really, really well.
I mean, like I said, I absolutely always want to go back and just rewatch it from the beginning, always, because I
don't open dead inside. That hospital opening here.
My memory always goes back to seeing the advert for The Walking Dead on FX.
The shot of him on the horse, riding into the town, into the city.
They've got the music, the sun won't always shine anymore, just playing constantly. And I thought, if this lasts for one season, I'll be happy. And then I remember reading the stuff about the governor, and I'm like, they're never going to put this on TV. Boom, we got the TVs full of heads on screen. You're like, oh my god, this is amazing. The tank sequence, the prison sequence. I was worried how they would go with Negan, and I thought they'd run their course, especially, with all, like I said, all the different characters. And once they defeated Negan, I stopped. I was like, you know what? I'm walking away, Walking Dead. If I walk away now, we've still got a good relationship. And if you fuck up like Game of Thrones, then it's not on us. We've still had our time. I want to see the alpha beta stuff.
Yeah.
I want to see
the Whisperer arc was great.
I want to see the change in Negan's character, but I know I can't because I stopped, and so I have to go all the way back and watch it all the way again.
You don't have
to, man. I got to see Abraham again. I've got to see Abraham again,
yeah.
And it's hard to see what happens to Abraham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's my number 5.
That's your
The
number
Walking
5,
Dead.
right. So my number 5.
Yeah.
So it's Star Trek Voyager.
Nice.
So I I watched last year. I watched all of Deep Space Nine.
We did do Deep Space Nine.
We did all of Deep Space Nine, and we did all of Voyager.
So why Voyager over
other ones as well?
any of the other treks?
So I love Star Trek. I
Yeah.
love all the stuff. Yeah, all the Star Treks are really good. But Voyager, I really like Voyager because I just think it's a bit different from the others because of the scenario, of the fact that
premise,
that they're trapped in the Delta
Delta,
Quadrant,
yeah.
and it's going to take them 75 years to get back, and it's their journey of trying to get back, which is what's different, I think, from all the other Star Treks, which have got obviously prime
exploration,
then this is them. It's their journey of trying to get back, and the fact of the different people that they meet along their journey, and that some of them help them, some of them hinder them. And Janeway's character as well. I do love.
Kate Mulgrew,
very strong character, and it's the dynamics between the crew and the different kind of developing characters that you see on this journey that they're going on. So I really enjoyed actually rewatching Voyager from one right through to the end.
I would say that the Doctor and Seven of Nine were probably two of my favourite Trek characters. But Janeway, she's absolutely crazy character.
Yeah,
like the shit that woman would pull off for her crew to get them home is questionable.
But,
but,
definitely.
But I loved Voyager, but it was the first Star Trek show that I stopped watching around season 5-ish. I just kind of zoned out of the show.
Yeah.
And then like 10 years later went back and then finished the final 2 seasons just because I wanted to see how Voyager got back.
So I made a note of because it actually started in 1995.
Nice,
7 seasons.
Yeah.
I think there's about 172 episodes in total.
Nice,
over the 7 seasons. There was about 25, 26 episodes a season.
Yeah.
So and then finished in 2001. Ending was a bit weird.
Yeah.
Because it was all the kind of the time going back in time, and
that's right.
like
they just did the episode where they were home already.
Yeah.
And then they were like, but we didn't get everybody home.
No.
So we're gonna go back and fix it.
Yeah.
And take out the Borg while we do it.
And which was obviously the big, because Delta Quadrant is where the Borg come from, and so it was like that was the only thing I think you were talking about actually, the Kez character the other day.
Yeah.
So it was a shame because I really liked Neelix and Kez relationship. That lovely.
They got rid of the wrong one.
And then they got rid of Kez.
I know.
Yeah.
And not Neelix.
And
brought in 7 of 9 instead because they wanted to sex up the show a little bit.
But it was which I think was a mistake. It was really weird because the whole thing was about they had such a strong relationship.
Yeah.
And they were really good together and everything. And then to get rid of her, and it was like Neelix carrying on and everything. That was the only bit that just felt wrong.
It's one of the reasons why I struggle with rewatching Voyager, because of Neelix. He literally does my head in so much. it's like Jar Jar Binks in a Star Trek show.
It's the Jar Jar
Okay.
I mean, no, that's the worst case, but that's my example. But I still love Voyager. I still did.
Yeah.
My number 5, like I said, I removed Walking Dead off this. Actually,
what was it replaced with?
Well, I had South Park, and then I got told off for putting animated on there. So
we're doing strictly no animated.
He kept on saying, "I want to put this." No, it's animated.
Rick and Morty would be on my list too.
Yeah,
5 times.
We're not doing animated.
Somebody said Archer that we were speaking to, and we were like, "No, can't do animated." And I removed Sequest DSV off there, and then I removed Walking Dead. And I replaced it with Ash versus Evil Dead.
Nice.
3 seasons starting in 2015. Like I said, I had 3 or 4 different shows on here, and then today I immediately was just thinking about Evil Dead. Or actually, I was thinking about the Chucky TV series and wondering if I would rewatch that. And I thought, well, definitely if there was a season 2, and then I'd go back and watch season 1 and all the kills again. And then all of a sudden, bang, Ash versus Evil Dead appeared in my head, and I'm like, oh yes, I would easily go back and rewatch that.
Yeah.
Was it only just last year, I think it was, or maybe it was this year, I can't remember. I purposely watched the Ashley Slashy episodes.
Nice. The Ashley Slashy one is the one where they pretend that Ash is in an asylum, and he's been crazy, and he made up all the events,
and he's got the puppet
to cover the murders of his
Ian
sister
has
and friends.
Which
I have. He has cameoed in a
I
review.
had to get it. was amazed that this show would even go for one season and had such a really unique storyline coming off the back of the movies and trying to keep all the licenses for the movies. Then all of a sudden we've got season 2. Season 3, ends a little bit abruptly.
No, I don't think so. They ended the story, and then they had a 2 minutes of what would be another season.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean.
Were you not gutted that? I wanted.
Oh, absolutely.
I wanted
No, but at the
season.
same time, I felt like we were left exactly where we were in the 90s when Army of Darkness ended.
Yes, that as well.
And he teleports into the future. Wait, he sleeps until the future. And you're just like, so we'll never get to find out what happens to him in this world.
But
and
he's
now,
still going.
Now we're in Mad Max Evil Dead world. And it's like, your imagination has to do the rest. Yeah. And I'm like, you know what, I'm kind of fine with that. Because, like, I don't know.
I love watching Lucy Lawless as well. Like, I could watch Xenia. I could watch Xena. I could
Xena.
I could easily go back and watch Xena again with Bruce Campbell
I struggle with Xena. It was a bit too campy.
Yeah,
I mean, I enjoyed it, but it was
a bit silly.
But for me, like, maybe it's Bruce Campbell. I want to go back and watch Burn Notice. I want to go back and watch Jack of All Trades. Like, Jack of All Trades is like really rare to get on DVD. There's like a Briscoe County. I want to do Briscoe County as well. It's just Bruce Campbell.
Just Bruce Campbell stuff.
Just Bruce Campbell stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so I'll move on to my number 4.
Yeah.
And this one kind of moved up and down my list. Because I was like, the way I've actually put my list is the TV shows that I've rewatched the most.
Yeah.
So this one has dropped down over the years, but at one point it was my most watched TV show. And that is the Joss Whedon universe. Mm-hmm. Mainly Buffy and Angel and Firefly.
Yeah.
You had Sarah Michelle Gellar, Nicholas Brendan, Alison Hannigan, James Masters, Anthony Head, David Boreanaz, Emma Caulfield, Seth Green, Charisma Carpenter, Amber Benson, and more. Such a great cast in Buffy. You know, I will say, when I rewatch Buffy, I skip the first season. I cannot watch the first season anymore.
No, you can't skip the first season.
Every episode in the first season has so much cringe that it literally feels like the show had no footing. It knew what it wanted to be, but in season 2 it was striding along.
It's amazing that you can watch all of these like Euphoria, like teenage drama programs, but like season 1 of Buffy. No, it's too
season. I mean, for me, it has some of the worst episodes of the entire show.
But it's
like the demon that possesses a computer.
Yeah,
you know, oh my god! I'm like, I'll never watch this episode again.
They are so young.
They are really
so
young.
Yeah.
They but I understand that it's where we get the first inkling of who all these characters are going to be. It's the development, I know, but it's just in season 2. From episode 1, we know who these characters are, and I mean, I haven't watched the first season of Buffy since the 90s. Like, I just can't do it. I just start from season 2 onwards. But any episode of Buffy I can rewatch, especially the musical episode.
Yes.
And for Angel, it's usually, if I'm ever going to rewatch Angel, I tend to watch a couple episodes of the first season and then all of the last season. The middle ground of Angel, I enjoyed the Darla and what's she called?
Drusilla.
Those kind of episodes with Angel and the flashbacks and stuff. I enjoyed the stuff with Fred and Wesley.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like the last season though, it just felt like it reimagined the entire show. It was going to become something different and then cancelled.
Yeah.
But so it's always a bittersweet rewatch of that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely love Buffy. Still do.
So my number 4 is X-Files.
Nice. It was on my honourables.
Yeah. so X-Files, 1993 to 2018. However, there was a hiatus. In between that. So actually, it returned. It kind of 1993. It went on till I think about 2002, and then it came back in 2016 for 2 seasons.
Yes,
but they were much shorter because the original series there was 9 seasons in the original one, which I think I wrote down here was about 22 episodes in each one, and then the last 2 seasons that they did there was only about like 10, 11 in each
really
season.
But it was an overarching story, wasn't it?
It was, but I absolutely I loved X-Files. I was obsessed with that
Nice.
show. I've even got the X tattooed on
You
my.
do,
It was the
yeah.
very first tattoo
That's
I had
awesome.
was the X one. I had that poster.
Yeah.
In my room.
I want
I want to
yeah.
believe one.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. And I had a big crush on David.
David Duchovny.
So,
I mean, both of them were icons.
well,
weren't they?
you've got a crush
Gillian
on
Anderson.
Gillian Anderson,
Of
you
course.
know,
Oh,
yeah.
God.
So it was just so gripping, and I think it was because I was really into all the kind of like
Oh, the
things that-
paranormal,
Yeah,
and
super,
stuff like that.
superstitious.
It was,
Ghost stories.
always interests me. So as soon
Vampires,
as
yeah.
this series came along, it instantly grabbed
Also,
me.
because there was nothing else like it, really.
No, there
not
wasn't.
on that level.
No.
Because the writing was smart. The
Yeah.
characters were intelligent. This was the FBI dealing with these strange cases.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was
Yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah, so anybody not seen it, obviously, played Mulder and Scully were FBI agents that were. Mulder had been segregated to the X-Files little office down in the bottom of the FBI, which is all about these X-Files, which are kind of unsolvable cases that have a paranormal kind of twist on them. Mulder being the believer, Scully being the skeptic. But what's interesting is how that flicked, actually, towards the latter part of the series.
It was at the point in television when it was episodic. So even though Scully was like, I don't believe in aliens, sees an alien
ages.
next week. I don't believe in aliens. It's like, what happened to you between, Scully?
For ages, she was like skeptic,
Yeah.
no, it's not real and stuff like that, and constantly, and it was Mulder trying to convince her and
Yeah.
everything. But actually, is when you get to the latter series,
Yeah.
then she actually became the believer,
Yeah.
and he actually became the skeptic.
How
so,
does that work?
so quite
Because
I've
you realised
not
that it-
seen the revival show.
Oh,
so
have
I've
you
not
not?
seen
Right.
it.
Well, yeah, it was
The later
basi-
seasons, he was trying to find his sister, wasn't he?
Always.
Because
Well,
she
no,
had been
that
kidnapped.
was the original. That was
Yeah.
kind of the original. The first series were about the fact that the reason kind of why
Yeah.
he'd got into this was because his sister had disappeared,
But it
and
turns
so he was convinced that she'd been abducted by aliens, or there was some sort of conspiracy going on, and that the government were hiding the fact that that aliens were real, and that there was something going on, and so that was the kind of the.
But
initial,
that's what I mean. It turns out later on in the
his
season,
sister
the later
hadn't
seasons.
been abducted.
Well, she had been abducted, but she'd been clung by the government, who weren't really aliens. It was the government who were behind it the whole time. It was like this
And,
whole secret, how to stay rich.
and actually the smoking man, because
he died like 4 times.
Yeah, he was this
Of course.
consistent thing who happened to turn out to be Mulder and his sister's father. He was. Did you not know that, Gary?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. Yeah, so he actually was Mulder's
What the?
father, and
Right, now I
also
need to go and
Mulder's
rewatch
sister.
this.
Yeah.
Did the writers know this when they were writing the first seasons?
Oh.
No, actually, I think his father is still Mulder's dad, but the cigarette
No,
smoking man
the cigarette
made the
smoking
daughter.
dad. No, he was Mulder's
dad.
father as
Oh.
I'm
well.
still shocked.
Watch it,
And it was kind of like it was really weird, and so it was this journey, kind of all the series that you went through of there was obviously the underlying story that's going on, but then putting in these really interesting episodes of lots of different kind of paranormal things that they were investigating and looking at.
Yeah.
So yeah, really gripping. I'd love to actually. I mean, it's a lot. 11 seasons
Yes,
in total. I would actually love to go back from the beginning and
watch
work
it
my
all the way again.
through again.
Again.
Yeah. So yeah, that was my number 4.
Nice.
My number 4 is The Sopranos from 1999 to 2000. 7 seasons. Like, was it 7 seasons? I think so. But I got into The Sopranos late. Like, it'd already been like 3 seasons in, and I just happened to catch an episode one night. I was in the middle of my kind of Scarface, Goodfellas, Godfather kind of trilogy thing, and I was like, man, this series is just so good. I need to watch more. And I, obviously, when it first released, I had to wait for them all to come out. So for like years, all I wanted was the DVD box sets. I need to watch DVD box sets. I haven't seen season 1. I'm watching season 5, season 6. I need to go back. And they kept the price going up. And then I finally got all the box sets, and I watched them all the way through.
Didn't I buy it for you?
You did.
I did buy
But
it.
no, Gary bought me season 1 as well on DVD. So I've got season 1 on DVD, and I've got the complete season on DVD because I'm not going to throw it all away. But man, such a great TV series. I mean, some people talk about The Shield, some people talk about The Wire. Anything that appears with HBO, that old school HBO black and white noise on, that's a great TV series.
Yeah.
If it starts with HBO, it's a great TV series. James Gandolfini playing Tony Soprano, head of a mob family. The one episode that always sticks with me and will always make me go back... Actually, 2 episodes. Sorry, 2 episodes. There's loads of episodes. But the 2 episodes that always make me want to go back and rewatch the series is... There's an episode at the end of season 2 where Tony's sister kills the main villain that's been trying to kill Tony all the way through this season. Like, this guy's come out of prison, he's come back, he wants his spot again, he wants to get back his own money. Tony, who's the boss, kind of has to pay dividends to it, but this guy wants to remove him. So he tries to sleep with Tony's sister to get close. And she ends up killing the guy at the end. It's such a shock. You're like, oh my God, that's absolutely brilliant. And Tony, Tony has to deal with the body, but you can tell that he's kind of laughing inside, like, I get to kill this guy. The second episode is the one where he had to kill Christopher Moltisanti, his cousin. Now, I think this was season 6. And the actor playing Christopher Moltisanti, the two of them, they've been together since season 1. They're cousins. He's taking care of this guy. And the episode starts with them driving along this freeway. They've just come back from a party. Christopher's driving. And you followed Christopher getting off of heroin. He's married. He's got kids. He's turned his life around. And they end up in a crash. And Tony's come out of the car. He's come around to find Christopher. Christopher's stuck in the car. The steering wheel's like crushed against his chest. And Christopher basically explains to him that he's high on heroin. And if they do a blood test, they're both going to get in trouble. So Tony had to kill him. He basically puts his finger and thumb over the guy's nose and makes him suffocate in the car. And then spends the rest of the episode telling everybody, he died in the accident. And you've sat there knowing he suffocated his own cousin so that he didn't go to prison because there's the head of a mob family. Oh, man, absolutely brilliant. Like I said, I could go back and I could rewatch it. Kind of the same thing with Buffy, like you said. Season 1 is a bit cringy. And I always feel like sometimes that's because they never know if they're going to do a season 2, season 3, season 4, whatever. Yeah,
they were finding their footing as to what the show was going to be. They knew what it was going to be about, but what it was going to be.
But that's why I'll always go back and I'll watch season 1 of Sopranos or season 1 of Buffy because I like to see where we originally came from.
Sure. Yeah. Nice one.
Yeah.
Well, we did already discuss my number 3 on the list.
Yeah, well, I've got a couple as well, so we're gonna.
Nice. My number 3 is Ash versus Evil Dead.
Oh yes.
When I remembered it, I was like, oh, it's number 1 on my list. I was like, well, actually, I've only seen it all the way through 4 times. So I was like, these other ones,
4.
I know all 3 seasons 4 times. So I was like, but these other shows I've watched from beginning to end even more than that. So it fell down to 3rd place for me. Even though I'm riding high this year on Evil Dead with the game coming out, with the Evil Dead Rise coming out, it's got test screenings this weekend.
It does.
So we're probably going to hear some rumblings on the internet about reactions from it. Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell are heavily toting the new film.
Yeah.
Even though they're not in it, they've seen it, they've talked about it and said it's buckets of blood and gore. You're going to get Evil Dead, whether you like it or not. So, but Ash vs. Evil Dead, 2015 to 2018, 3 seasons, absolutely loved it. Great cast, great performances. Like, they captured the horror of Evil Dead 1,
they did.
The comedy of Evil Dead 2, and the scale of Army of Darkness. In every episode, you'd have something horrific happen, and then you'd watch Ash go to the sperm bank to try and track down all of his donations to make sure the Evil Dead couldn't make any more clones or copies of him, and the ensuing carnage that happens.
Man, I felt really bad when his dad got killed in the car.
I've got something very important to tell you. And then the Delta just hits him. But it also hits him a second time and squashes his head.
Yeah.
It's like, God damn it, Lee Majors.
It was so good. It was so good.
The way they rebuilt the cabin, the way they redid Henrietta. The Ruby storyline, for me, it has its highs and it has its lows.
Yeah.
It is a strong point, but it's also one of the weakest points for me. especially because Ruby. Sorry for spoilers. Ruby is a bad guy who becomes a good guy who becomes a bad guy. So it's just like she flip flops as a character, or as her role changes because of timey wimey stuff.
But that's mainly also because she's like shacked up with Robert Tapper.
Well, of course, yeah. So
if his name's on it, she's gonna get in the show.
But for me, Ash vs Evil Dead, we never thought we would get more Evil Dead after Army of Darkness. Now we got 3 seasons. For me, it's like we got 3 whole movies.
Yes.
Now, despite the fact that it ends almost like Army of Darkness ends, where we're not going to get any more, I think whenever I do an Evil Dead marathon, knowing I've got 3 seasons more to go through after the films, it's great, absolutely great. I know I will rewatch this show more than I already have. Yeah. It doesn't get old.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my number 3.
Oh, cool. Right, my number 3 is a really guilty obsession at this moment in time.
Oh.
It's what I have been obsessed about.
Yeah.
I come home from work.
Yep.
I have my tea, and then I watch Stargate.
Nice. Okay.
So.
Is it still going, or is it?
So what happened is basically, obviously I watched it like when it was originally on through, and I watched Stargate Atlantis as well. I love both shows. Jason Momoa, obviously, in Stargate.
Jason Momoa,
So what happened is I noticed it was on. I think it was from season 5. That I suddenly noticed it was on some Sky Channel. And so I thought, and it was 6 o'clock, so 2 episodes from 6 till 7 and then 7 till 8. So I thought, ideal, help me wind down from work and everything. And I just got obsessed with watching it. So I've watched it all the way through. So Stargate started in 1997, finished in 2007, 10 seasons, about 22 episodes in each. Also, there's 2 films, which I just
bought on DVD. I bought the Stargate movie. I'm thinking, awesome, Kurt Russell, yeah.
Not that one.
No, not that one.
The made-for-TV ones that came at the end.
Sure, nice.
Of the season. So I've just loved rewatching it. I've just been because I actually bought it for my mum. I bought the box sets for my mum some time ago because she loves it as well.
It as well. Nice. Okay.
But so I've watched through till the end of the season. Like I say, I bought the DVDs to watch. I've watched the first film yesterday, so I've still got one more film. I watched The Ark of Truth yesterday, so I've got the second one to watch.
Nice.
But it's so after they finished thinking, they started it again from season 1.
It's all being
the
told
last
again.
episode, and then they've restarted
again straight away. Wow.
Season 1, episode 1.
So
I gotta admit, I've really started getting it because I didn't get into Stargate when it first came out.
Neither did
I loved the movie, and being a Star Trek fan, being a Babylon 5 fan, being a sci-fi fan, I wanted to get into Stargate, but I didn't watch it consistently enough to keep around the character.
Sure.
Watching it now, like I'll come home, I'll sit down, Linda's got Stargate on, I'm just like, all right, okay, we're watching Stargate. Who's that guy? Where are we? Because I'm coming in season 5, season 6, and we've got like Claudia Black turning up. Farscape's ended.
And
it's got the cast
fucking the guy who played Crichton in Farscape, he's turned up. So they're both in there, but they're playing totally different characters. But
he's well confused.
But they've still got this.
Am I watching Farscape? But something strange has happened.
But they've still got this cool dynamic relationship from working together on Farscape, and you've got the what was it I said today or yesterday when we were watching? I was like, you've got to love a good matte painting background because they were at some ruins.
Yeah, of course.
This big matte paint,
it's great. No, it's great. But the series kind of so I watched the first episode of the first series today.
Nice.
So and that is set 2 years after
the film.
The film.
The original
film.
Right.
So but it was lovely seeing how it started again and how Teal'c's character kind of came into it and everything, and setting up Teal'c, Daniel Jackson, Sam Carter, and Colonel O'Neill.
What's the is it Anderson playing O'Neill?
Richard Dean Anderson. MacGyver.
I hated him when I first watched him because I'm like, you're not Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
You are no way Kurt Russell's Jack O'Neill.
Jack
O'Neill in Stargate is amazing. This character, but as you follow this O'Neill in the series, I feel that O'Neill actually becomes him.
Yeah.
than more so than the Kurt
the
Russell
original.
character.
Okay,
Like I really
yeah.
like the Kurt Russell character, don't get me wrong, but
Me too.
O'Neill I always remember from the TV series because I
Yeah.
got more, I understood him more, I got
Yeah,
Nice.
but I love the characters in it because they are like and O'Neill he's he's this quirky side to him, isn't this sense of humour that he has, this sarcasm
Yeah.
Right.
that's just very good. Mongo. So I just read the thing about how he didn't get on with so what happened basically. I can't remember which season it was now, but so Richard Dean Anderson kind of stepped back and so O'Neill's character retired again.
Sure.
Because he was brought out of retirement
Yeah.
to the original,
Yeah.
But that's when the guy from Farscape so comes in as Cam Mitchell
Right.
to take over from that character, and yeah, that I remember when that first happened, same as Mongo, I was like a bit, oh no, I'm so used to Jack
Being
O'Neill,
one
how
way,
can they replace him with? But actually, watching it the second time now,
Yeah.
I actually
It's fine.
it's fine,
Okay,
yeah.
nice.
and it does work, and the dynamics, and with the actress that comes in from Farscape, who's
Claudia Black,
yeah.
Vala Maldoran. Yeah, and you said like I'm not sure about her character because
Yeah,
she's a
'cause
bit
she's-
childish and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, but it works.
Because she's not human.
She's
Sure.
She's an alien.
she's from
Yeah.
another.
So when you
yeah,
when you compare her character in Stargate to Aaron's son in Farscape, like Aaron's son's like this badass woman alien who's ready to like pick up a gun and kill everything, where Vala's ready to just have fun. She's like Harley
she is
Quinn.
this fun,
Nice.
like she's
It's a
thief,
totally different-
you
Yeah.
know, she's constantly stealing things and stuff like that. But they've kind of brought her into the group, and they're kind of like, and she's, been accepted into as one of the SG team, and that's been really good for her and stuff like that. So I really loved rewatching it. It's just
Ideal, yeah.
been very enjoyable.
Yeah. My number 3, we've already gone over it once, I think twice actually, but I'll do it a third time because it is just that good. X-Files
Yay.
season. My number 3, like I said, 11 seasons. There's just so many good episodes in like the first 3 or 4 seasons. Like Tombs.
Tombs
Oh,
is great.
Tombs is
yeah.
so good.
Absolutely
Both
amazing.
episodes of
Yeah.
Tombs when he first comes out and he gets captured, and he comes out the second time and he's got this whole revenge thing against Mulder. I said to Linda recently, I really want to go and watch their extended TV movies
Oh, the
that they
movies,
made,
yeah.
like the
There's 2
Unopened
movies.
File,
Yeah.
and then you
I
have
Want
like
to Believe.
where he well no I mean the like the
So there was 2 movies that were made.
no, it was this. What I mean is the special episodes at the end of the seasons. Like season 1, you had Mulder meet the Navajo Indians, and they found the train car in the desert. And there's like 3 episodes following all this stuff, and you thought, oh, it's going to show us more aliens, and actually it turned out to be the government fucking around with us. You had like episode 82571, which is another train car episode where he's trying to get on there, and he meets up with Krychek again. I love the episode in the woods with the weird green flies that live in the darkness
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
eat people.
yeah. That was horrifying.
I love
It was really like.
I love the Thing type episode where you can find a little worm creature inside them and it controls them. Love
Yeah.
those types of episodes. The Monster of the Week episodes were really cool. I love the what was it? They go into like a World War II battleship.
The one where they
Yeah,
age
yeah, yeah.
quickly.
Where they're aging
Yeah.
quickly. Absolutely love that episode as well. There's the one where you got what's his face from Battlestar Galactica, who can control fire. And he's kind of laced like the whole
Yeah.
house
Oh.
in like a weird chemical,
I can't
which
remember.
kind of sets fire to stuff. He was in Supernatural as well.
Of course.
Yeah, I can't remember that.
They all bounce between shows.
There is some brilliant episodes.
Yeah, like it's like what you said. We probably easily, I think we did actually a couple of years ago do a massive.
You guys did.
bit
I remember you
binge,
telling me. Yeah.
going all the way through and watching it all because we
Yeah, but I
did
wanna
the
do
thing
it
Because the new
as well.
shows were the new seasons were
Yeah,
coming
that's
out.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, some episodes are a real drop where you're like, oh, really? This story's. I don't remember this story, and there's a reason why I didn't
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
this story. But some of them really pick up, and it's David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson the whole way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Alrighty, so we're getting into the number 2s and 1s.
Yes.
So my number 2 is Battlestar Galactica, the remake from 2004 to 2009, created by Ronald D. Moore. It was 74 episodes with a cast including Edward James Olmos, Mary McDonnell, Jamie Bamber, James Callis, Tricia Helfer, Grace Park, Kate Sackhoff, Michael Hogan, just to name a few.
Yes.
Like, I've been a big fan of Ronald D. Moore from Star Trek, Carnival, even now to For All Mankind. Anything that this man is attached to usually turns, in my opinion, to gold. I love his ideas, the way he creates characters. And Battlestar Galactica Reimagined, I've watched it from beginning to end more than 10 times. I've listened to every episode with the commentary track from Ronald D. Moore. I've seen the extended episodes, the made-for-TV movies that came with it. It's one hell of a journey. Like, when people go, oh, remakes are bad, like, sometimes they're not, and sometimes they're superior. Sometimes. Not always. So sometimes you have to try. And with this remake, I just absolutely adore it. Like, every time I rewatch it, there's always something new to get hooked into, whether it's the character development, even though you know the trajectory of these characters, going on that journey with them, like we've said many times, like, show's not changed, we've changed. And so you get to live vicariously through all of these characters, through all sorts, the war, the politicking, the betrayals, the love stories. The show embodies so much, and it's really well written. Yeah, some of the effects in the early seasons are starting to show their age already, but the music by Bear McCreary is so damn good. You literally get drawn into that universe, and it is, for me, the epitome of binge watching. Because with Battlestar Galactica, it's always one more episode, one more episode, one more episode, and then the season's finished, and you're like, one more episode. Absolutely one of the most rewatchable shows ever for me.
Yeah.
Nice.
Linda, your number 2?
My number 2 is already been up, and it is Buffy the Vampire
Yay!
Slayer. And I put Angel in there with
Angel
it,
with it too, yeah.
because last year, again,
Didn't you?
I did the whole of Buffy and Angel, but I did them in the...
So you did, when you got to season 5, you did one.
Yeah, so synchronised with the two. So
yeah.
It
So
was
when
so
Buffy suddenly
annoying.
gets a phone call from Angel, you're like,
It was so annoying because I wanted
How?
to do that. Like I was watching her watch these episodes, and I'm like, man, I'm really jealous because I was working late and I wanted to keep up with what was going on. And then I'm coming in, and all of a sudden, Connor's being born. I'm like, for fuck's sake, I've missed the whole Cordelia death, the Darla death stuff. And then all of a sudden, fucking Tara's dead. I'm like, man, I've missed the whole initiative shit. What the? Stop watching this. And she's gone. She's like almost to the end of the series.
I just love it. I've loved it the first time around. I loved it. I mean, I've watched them like random like ones like before over and over again, stuff like that. But this was me literally. That's the first time I've ever done that.
Yeah.
I've gone through it with the both of them.
Yeah.
And because like I made a note of kind of a couple of things like about the crossovers. So a lot of the crossovers actually. So there was 22 episodes where crossovers were made.
Wow.
Nice.
But some of those were phone calls.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that, in fact, I think the first Angel episode had the phone call that he made to Buffy, and she answered the phone, but then he can't.
He doesn't say anything.
He doesn't say anything. And
so Buffy just feels like she's getting prank called.
Yeah.
There's a stalker.
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
So and it was interesting because saying that because originally they were on the same network, weren't they? They were on UPN.
That's right. They
but
went to the CW after 5.
Yeah, and then obviously that caused a bit of a problem in terms of that.
Yeah.
The crossovers, but absolutely loved doing that, and it was a bit gutting the end of Angel.
It was.
I just felt like there was
I've made my peace with that ending, and I think it's. I mean, I've done a whole turnaround on that ending. I think it's the best way to end Angel because the way Angel ends is the epitome of everything that the character is doing, and that is fighting the good fight right till the end, even if your opposition is overwhelming and defeat is imminent. keep fighting.
Yeah.
And
Totally
so that's the way
the-
they go out. And I was
Yeah.
like, that's kind of beautiful.
But it's still what it.
I know you still want to know more, and it's because
More.
because that episode was so soul crushing as well, because of the deaths that occurred.
Yeah.
I do think it's a bit harsh though, but like I'm looking back and realizing that like it could have been so much better if Josh Whedon hadn't been fucking with Charisma Carpenter's fucking.
Yes, I know. The
whole
behind
time.
the scenes stuff that's come out is horrible.
Yeah.
Not to bring it down or anything.
I know. It's there, but
Yeah.
it's still not going to take away my enjoyment of what Joss did create.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I did actually really love. I love the character developments in both Angel and Buffy, and the fact that Angel kind of fell in love with
Cordelia
of all people. And what, but it was nice and it worked. And,
it did, because her character evolved too.
Yeah, and actually a Buffy and Spike relationship as well, which was.
I know. Well, I mean, we've discussed it on the Buffy podcast we did a few years back, but yeah, that whole dynamic, and of course it's always weird because Spike does at one point try to rape Buffy.
Yeah.
And so it's a very dark,
really dark,
confusing and conflicted kind of character. Because Spike is my favourite character, but you still have to go, oh my god.
Yeah. Well, Cordelia did sleep with Angel's son.
I know.
As well, yeah.
Like,
so it's all kinds of weird. It's all the drama.
Yeah.
All a bit messed up in places, but still love it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Absolutely love it. Iain, your number 2?
My number 2, it's already gone. You've seen a pattern here. But I've got both shows. Battlestar Galactica, 1978 and 2004.
Nice.
I mean, like, I absolutely loved Battlestar Galactica when it first came out.
Same,
and
me too, yeah.
Like, the TV series, like, when I was younger, I just had to keep watching it. Like, I love Star Trek, but Battlestar Galactica, I had face in it from A-Team, and I was massively into A-Team as well.
A major crush.
Derek Benedict. He is.
Benedict.
As in my school books, Heart with DB and LH.
Well, Katie Sackhoff, she was able to turn that character around in the remake series and just make it so much sexier again. That you were just like, what is it about Starbuck? It's just so awesome. I mean, I bought, the board games. I got an outfit and got married in it. I got wedding cakes for it. This is how much of the series had an impact on me. I can go back, like, because they started showing it on Horror Channel a couple of months ago, replaying Battlestar Galactica and Farscape back to back, and I was watching the 1978 episode where they meet up with Pegasus, and you've got not Beau Bridges, because that's the commander from. It's his dad.
Yeah.
The older
Bridges. I know, yeah.
And he's playing Commander
It's
Kane.
like I chose the wrong week to quit sniffing glue.
He's playing Commander Kane, and he's like, "Look, I'm gonna fly Pegasus down there. You can't take on 3 base stars at the same time, and the special effects are absolutely terrible." But I was like, man, I really want to watch the remake series now, where they fly Pegasus into 3 fucking base stars.
Yeah.
The Adama maneuver into fucking New Capricorn's
drop ship.
It's amazing. Like, I love Star Trek, but Battlestar fucking
takes the cake,
takes
doesn't
the
it?
cake.
Yeah,
Takes
nice.
the cake.
Alrighty.
Ooh.
So we're moving into number ones.
Number ones.
Alrighty, my number 1. It is there. I mean, Battlestar Galactica is probably my favourite sci-fi. Probably one of my favourite shows of all time.
Yeah.
But I've not rewatched it anywhere near as much as I have watched Red Dwarf. We did a podcast on Red Dwarf a while back.
Yeah.
But, I also think it's funny that both Battlestar Galactica and Red Dwarf both currently sit at 74 episodes each.
Wow.
But yeah, Red Dwarf has been ongoing since 1988, and it hasn't stopped yet. It hasn't stopped.
It should have, maybe, but it hasn't.
Rob Grant and Doug Naylor created the show. Now, famously, they kind of had a huge falling out, and some of Red Dwarf has continued without, I can't remember which one.
Yeah.
But apparently they've overcome their differences, and they worked together, and they released The Promised Land, which came out 2 years ago in 2020 during the pandemic lockdown.
Yeah.
And for me, a lot of fans were just like, The Promised Land is kind of mediocre, the jokes,
Is that the one with the cat? And
yeah,
his
it was
family?
the whole cat story. Yeah, I thought it was great. It was like it was a comedy moment. It was the timing. It couldn't have been better. Like, the world was feeling pretty bleak. You know, people were dying of this illness around the world, and so just watching this this irreverent kind of bizarre comedy with these characters I've been watching since the 80s still pull it off.
Yeah.
There's not a bad episode of Red Dwarf for me. Well, there's maybe one or two, but even in those episodes, but even in those episodes, there are still great moments.
Yeah.
So whenever I rewatch Red Dwarf, it's from beginning to end, beginning to end. I don't get tired of it. I don't get old.
Weird thing is, once again, first season of Red Dwarf, I think is really cringy. I think it's so good.
I don't think it gets good
just
until
the two of
season
them.
3 There's no
or
Crichton.
Season 4.
Yeah.
You know,
But-
it was the simple formula that worked.
Well, that's it. But first season, I can go back and rewatch because I'm like, I love seeing where they've come, how bad the special effects are, how crappy the script writing is. Until, oh yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
too.
Red Dwarf, just mwah.
No,
Bring
it
more,
is.
please. I mean, they said a year or so ago that yes, there's absolutely going to be more Red Dwarf, and they said it'll be 2022.
Yeah.
However, it's looking unlikely we're going to see any new Red Dwarf.
Might do. Craig Charles just lost his spots on Radio 4.
Oh, so he's going to
Yes,
need
we
more
need
money.
He's going to need some more money.
Give
And
me
he's
more
not
Red
on
Dwarf,
Coronation
please.
Street anymore either.
Damn. Well, Linda, you're number one
Right,
show.
so my number one. Oh, I wonder what my number one show is going to be. Yes, Matt Midgley.
Hooters.
Okay, it's not not who does. No, my number one show is Strange Things.
Nice.
I've absolutely loved this. All the series.
Yeah.
Strange Things. It started in 2016?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Again, COVID disrupting the flow of that.
Indeed.
But what do I love about it? I love about the fact the era it's set in because
It's the 80s.
It's the 80s, and it's at the time that when they started off back then. All of them are the age that I was
At that time.
Yeah.
So all of the music, all of the the things that they're doing, everything just
Riding around everywhere on bicycles.
the choppers, and it's the memories there are just there. I'm wearing my proud Hellfire Club because
I need to get one of those.
because I did used to play
Dungeons and
D&D.
Dragons. Yeah.
Actually, I played AD&D. Because there's a whole sequence of them and stuff like that. But my first character was called Wendy Wimblows.
Nice.
So and I used to So I was into the whole role playing thing back then. Not in the 80s. It was the end of the 80s that I got into it.
Yeah.
So there's that aspects of it that just it's just the memories there are brilliant, but and the music, but it is just such a gripping show.
It does everything on terms of the nostalgia, which captures that really well. Just like the movie posters in the background when they're dressed in Ghostbusters uniforms. But in terms of like the synth music that they use,
absolutely brilliant.
Winona Ryder, she's just amazing in it as well. But all of the child actors are great.
Oh, they are. They're amazing.
I definitely would say, like, for me, putting Stranger Things on the list for me is too soon. But I know it absolutely will get on my list because I've loved every season except a few moments in season 2.
Yes, so I'd agree. So is it the bit where she goes off to?
It felt like a whole nother show.
Where
it
she
didn't feel like
meets
Stranger
up
Things.
with the another one of the the kids from the laboratory.
That's right.
And it went off on a little bit of a tangent, and that was a bit weird.
Yeah, I know it was a character development for Ellen. For 11.
For 11, yeah. But no, I just think the characters in it are just so strong and so good.
So who's the guy who plays the head doctor? It's not Matthew McConaughey, is it?
You got Paul Reiser, who's in there, and
No.
I can't remember who the senior guy is.
He's
He's called.
the senior doctor. He's a really good actor. I can't remember his name, but he's really held that position really well.
Yeah,
as the big
and what's
evil,
But what's
11s.
interesting is you like, especially in the latter series, the one that's just kind of come out now, is that you always kind of saw him as the big baddie, but actually you start
seeing
more
layers of who these characters are.
Side of
they're not. Yeah, he's not a two-dimensional villain.
Yeah.
It's not at all, and so really starts making you question actually what he's done and where he's and why. The big thing. So
I hope they don't drop the ball with the 5th season and ruin everything. But I think once it's all there. I think, absolutely rewatchable, start to finish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's lovely is Dylan's really got into it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Actually, Dylan and my granddaughter as well. The two of them.
Even though it's horror related, and there are some,
there's some
tough moments.
Yeah, there is.
I could easily see it like kids getting into it too, or at least more mature kids.
But that's why I was so happy because like when it first came out, Dylan was at an age that I was like, he really needs to start watching TV shows because all he's watching is YouTube shows.
Yeah.
You know, and I know that that's the generation now. Is like you'll watch somebody on Twitch,
TikTok generation.
Hey Twitch, or TikTok or YouTube or whatever, and that's your new show.
Yeah.
You know, and then Netflix comes along with this streaming site and they drop this Stranger Things show, and I'm thinking, oh, it's not going to do very well. It's set in the 80s, and then all of a sudden, somebody just said in the chat, oh, I don't understand the hype. You don't have to understand the hype. Hype isn't there to be understood. Hype is just hype. All of a sudden, somebody goes, watch this, and all of a sudden, 20 people are watching it.
And also saying watch it.
And saying watch it. And you stand there going, oh, I don't understand why. And you've got your reasons why you won't watch it. But that ain't going to stop these 20 people from watching this. And so with Dylan, I was like, he needs to start watching this. Linda then sat him down. He started watching a couple of the episodes. Like, we went away for a wedding. And it was his birthday at the same time. And the person whose wedding it was had bought him the figures for the Demogorgon and then all the boys in the Ghostbuster figures. Like, I felt so bad. He's ripping them open. He's ripping the box open. He wants to play with them, and I'm like, no, keep them in the box.
That was the brilliant thing. The guy who plays Hopper.
Yeah.
I've forgotten his name. David.
Bad Hellboy.
He was the bad Hellboy.
He was the bad Hellboy.
Harbour.
Yeah.
David
Harbour. That's it. So on the Strange Things on Facebook, which I like and stuff like that, and Dylan, I bought Dylan a Demogorgon costume.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So on Halloween, he went out as the Demogorgon, and I took a picture of him, and I posted it up on the Strange Things there, and David Harbour liked it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
There's little things in life, but
I definitely.
So Strange Things is one. I've already repeat watched it.
And you will do again.
And I will do again.
You will do
definitely. So
I will definitely sit down and watch it probably next time before you get to season 5.
Yeah, you need to do.
I know I do. My list is like longer than my freaking arm.
Sporadic.
Episodes here and there.
Well, I don't need to. People go, this show's amazing. I'm like, great. It's not going to change. It's still going to be amazing when I sit down in 10 years to watch it.
Well, sit down 10 years and watch it, Ian.
Well,
Ian, lastly, you're number one.
My number one is a bit of a controversial one.
We do.
And
we both, when he told us,
it's
both
fine.
said the same thing.
Let's take a nap.
It's a TV show. It's been shown on TV. It's had 30 seasons. It's been shown since 1993. It is WWF/WWE Monday Night Raw. I love wrestling, and when they I do love it a little bit. And the thing that gets me, and this is why I'm not going to get into a massive rant about why this is a TV show, and I'm not going to get defensive if people tell me it's argumentative. But I will say at one point during 1997 to 2000, there was a Monday night TV war in America. Ratings were fought over channels, and it was all about controversy and cash, and wrestling show Raw was at the forefront of it. Nitro was kind of lagging behind, but you've got crazy ass characters, you've got crazy ass storylines, you've got crazy ass actors. I mean, where the hell do you think Dwayne Johnson learned his craft of acting? He didn't do it on a stage show. He wasn't in theater. No, he was in front of thousands of fans every night, Monday to Friday, performing. Yes, as a sports star, but he was doing his promos. He was cutting his acting. From there you'd go on into movies, and like, I don't keep up with it as weekly as I should do, as like I used to, but that's because
you are actually rewatching.
I'm going back and just rewatch.
I don't mind though. He does this at night, and so he'll watch while he gives me a back rub.
Nice.
So I'm fine with
She's
it.
dozed out.
That's fine.
But this is the thing. Like, I wouldn't have this as my favorite TV show if it hadn't had such an impact on TV as it has. Like, I could have put AEW on here as wrestling, but that's only been out for a couple of years, and it's not actually impacting TV or the ratings like it thinks it should. Vince McMahon took a wrestling TV show, which shouldn't do very well, and had every kid from the age of 13 to 17 watching it between 1997 to 2000 for TNA and puppies and beer and chair shots and barbed wire, and it was just epic. And like I said, I don't watch it as well as I used to, and it's amazing that it's still going. 3-hour TV, 3-hour episodes now. It used to be an hour, and then it was 2 hours, and that was easy to contain, and now it's 3 hours because somebody in an office somewhere wants more and more.
More ad revenue.
More ad revenue. And that's the main thing, isn't it? It's to be able to sell more fucking food and toys and drinks on the show. But yeah.
I tell you what though, what I have enjoyed, because obviously it's got the WWE network.
The network,
is Stone Cold.
The podcast with Stone Cold.
Yeah, what they're called.
The Broken Skull
Broken
Sessions.
Skull Sessions. Yeah. Actually, that's
those are really good.
Yeah.
I listened to the Undertaker one.
And listen to those and then realise with Raw. So Raw would have been on a Monday, but they would have worked on a Tuesday and a Wednesday and a Thursday, and then they would have done weekend shows, and then they're getting ready for TV recording again on the Monday.
Yeah.
And so you're just hearing on the Broken Skull Sessions about the road stories. Traveling, we'd work for 8 hours, we'd do all these shows, then we'd go get drunk, then we'd crash out, then we'd have to drive to the next show, then we'd have to do it all again. You're like, fuck, living life as rock stars. Like, Craig Charles couldn't last 74 fucking episodes. Stone Cold Steve Austin lasted about 5 years.
He's eating kebabs and vindaloos and drinking beer and curries.
That guy should be
not
dead.
Wrestling.
But yeah, absolutely love wrestling TV shows.
I mean,
there we go.
Hey, don't shake your head. You just sat through Battlestar, X-Files, Sopranos.
Yeah, I know, but that's why I just don't put wrestling as a TV show. I mean, I know it's on TV. Yeah. I just don't consider it a TV show.
What I said as well,
I just don't. I think it breaks the. It should be disqualified.
It should be, but it's not because it's
your number one.
It's crazy. It's crazy crash characters on a car crash TV. Yeah, could have put Love Island, but I'm not. I know I could have, but I didn't.
Well, on that note, we're going to be bringing the second part of the podcast to a close, but I really do hope you enjoyed listening to our recommended most rewatchable TV shows. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be back in part 3 to answer your questions. And welcome back to the third part of the podcast where we were going to be answering your questions.
Yes.
So let's just have a quick look. We have our first question here from Natalie Holbert.
What up, Natalie?
Natalie says, I'm pinching a question from a thread I saw somewhere else on Facebook. But what is your most traumatic moment from a television series? I have many, but the last episode of Supernatural broke me. Tell me it's okay, Sam. Sammy! Cut to me having a one-woman wet t-shirt contest as the tears poured down my cheeks in never-ending rivers. Yeah. Well, Natalie, I've listed a whole bunch here for you. But for me, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the episode The Body.
Yes.
That's
the
mine.
Battlestar Galactica episode Faith. That's the one with Nana Visitor.
Yeah.
Just cannot watch that episode. It breaks me up every single time. Like you've just said, the Supernatural finale, the episode Swan Song. I ignored all my friends and family for a couple of days because I was in mourning after that show went off the air. Beautiful finale. The Good Place finale. Walking Dead, Glenn and Carl's deaths. Sorry, spoilers.
Yeah.
Fear the Walking Dead, Garrett Delahunt's John Dory. When his character went, I was just like, man, one of the reasons why I'm still watching the show. I can't watch this without you. Game of Thrones, The Red Wedding. The Angel finale with Fred and Wesley. Just on my heart.
Yeah, that's a hit.
But yeah, some I wouldn't say they're traumatic, but they've definitely left an impact. Yeah.
No, I agree. As soon as I hadn't read yours one, but as soon as you said that, The Body.
Yeah,
The Body.
Every time gets me.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just such a harrowing episode. Yeah. Yeah, even it's the lack of dialogue.
Yeah.
It's the false hope where the parent, where Buffy has this
saves,
quick fantasy thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's soul destroyingly effective. Yeah.
Oh,
Ian,
man.
have you got any?
There's so many memorable ones. I'm trying not to think too emotional ones, because I was thinking of the body episode, and that took me to the This Is England TV show, and there was some really harrowing, dark episodes in that. I don't want to think about again, just because the story was just so dark. But I will go with something a little bit lighthearted, which I just have such a great memory of when we watched it, and it's the episode of Battlestar Galactica where Ty is hearing the music, and he's hearing this music all the way through this fucking episode, and it was bugging me throughout the whole time that me and Gary were watching this episode together. And then all of a sudden I'm like, that's All Along the Watchtower by Jimi Hendrix. And he's like, is it? I'm like, well, it's a really fucked up version of it, but it is. And then they all just came into this room, and the four of them, and you've just had this whole realization that these four characters that you've been following for a while are now all Cylons. And you're like, I don't know who to trust anymore. What is going on with this show? Yeah.
Yeah, that moment where Adama breaks down over the realization.
Yeah.
You're there with him.
Yeah.
You're just like, give me the whiskey.
Yeah, and I mean, that's after you've already had Boomer shoot Adama in season 1.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, he can't die. No. Oh, yeah. Or what was it? Callie, when Callie went out the airlock.
Yeah. Brutal. Yeah. That's why it's still on the most rewatched list.
Yeah.
Alrighty, we got a question from Nick Lucy.
What up, Nick?
With the Upside Down pulling no punches this season on Stranger Things, no spoilers, what are some of your favourite other worlds from film, TV and games? The criteria, there's one, for an other world is that it can only be accessible via portal, gateway, or by just simply ripping a hole in space and time. So, LV-426, Tatooine, they don't count because they can be accessed by a flying spaceship. So, favourite also meaning memorable as you may want to actually visit this world. And they're very curious as to what we'd want to see.
Yeah.
So my answer for this one is from the Black Mirror.
Okay.
Charlie Brooker's Netflix show, Black Mirror. The episode The Infinity, which is basically, it's like VR, but it's almost like holodeck in a way.
Okay.
Put these little things on your temples and you're in a construct. You're in the Matrix. And it's basically Star Trek.
Yeah.
You can become a captain of a starship and fly it around. Basically, it's like a video game. So basically just going inside a video game.
Yeah.
Right.
And just being captain. And the Infinity one, that's the name of the episode, where you can be a captain of a starship, go and fight other aliens, explore planets, have your own away team missions. Basically, just live in Star Trek world.
I was going to say,
but safe.
technically that doesn't count because you're not going through a portal into it.
No, you are. You kind of going into the Matrix. You're getting jacked in, but it's just, it's kind of a portal, a gateway.
Well, mine was a bit like that. I wasn't too sure if it counted. So, for some reason, the first thing I thought of was the Nexus from Star Trek Generations. You know, that wave goes over you and then kind of transports you into this,
to wherever.
This magical world where all of your fantasies kind of come true. I wasn't too sure if that kind of worked in that criteria because of, the portal. I mean, I like the ribbon that you go to. It's kind of like a cut in space.
It's a gateway, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a kind of,
And my other one would be Fenris from the 40K universe, which I'm pretty sure you have to travel to by jumping through a warp gate. I mean, a ship could travel there, but it would take fucking thousands, hundreds of days. So you'd have to jump through the warp, through a portal to come out the other side, and then it's just a death world.
That's easy enough, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like Valhalla. It's like Vikings, space Vikings. But yeah.
If it's fantasy, one place I
It can be any world as long as it's accessible via gateway or a portal or...
What do you mean by...
Like going through the wardrobe in Lion Witch of the Wardrobe.
Yeah, kind of like
going
that.
into...
What world are you
hard.
thinking?
Well, because I'd love to go into to Middle Earth.
Yeah. But there's no actual way to it.
Way
to
to
it there.
No, there isn't. So that's a tricky one. Going through Stargate.
Let's go for a
The
Stargate.
Stargate?
Nice. Yeah.
Going to Atlantis.
Yeah. I was also thinking like Sliders, I was trying to think of like the good worlds they went to, where like biscuits can taste like whatever flavor or food that you want.
Yeah.
There was also one world that they went to in Sliders where like the male population was like 1%. Yeah. And the female population was 99%. I was like, I could go that world.
Death by snoo.
Sorry. Next question.
Next
question's from David Allen Evans.
What up, David?
Hey guys, hope all is well. My question today is, are movies today too self-conscious for absurdist humour? It came to me during a rewatch of RoboCop recently. The scene where Ed 209 falls down the stairs and starts wailing like a child is a scene that doesn't hold a lot of logic, but makes sense within the tone of the movie and gets across how useless the machine is.
Yeah.
I really miss these weird, absurd moments from big movies that stuck in the memory. Today I feel most humour relies on meta elements, or letting the audience acknowledging tropes and so on. Nobody would have the guts to do just or be unironically weird in the current movie landscape. So, of course, I had a little bit of time to think about this because it's a big, bold statement.
I'm not even sure what he's asking.
So, my answer, I mean, I may be off track here, but in the mainstream, maybe. But there's also something I've never really thought about before, but I would respond with The Greasy Strangler. That is the most bizarre, weird, fucked up film I've seen in quite a while that's actually good. Questionable. Good. But again, that's not mainstream. But then you've also got other films like Swiss Army Man. You got Four Lions.
Yeah.
And to an extent, I would also say like the Kingsman films. Those are mainstream films that have some very absurd moments in them, or over-the-top moments that go, whoa, I didn't think this film was going to go there. Like the fight with Rasputin in the third film. Just some bizarre choices or absurd moments. But I don't know, maybe they happen so fast it doesn't linger on them?
Yeah, I think, like from the original RoboCop, the mid-80s, like late 80s, 90s was becoming a lot more realistic. So, you take a sequence like the Ed 209 falling down the stairs and making those squealing noise.
Yeah.
It's a joke to kind of play on the fact that obviously it's not as smart as it thinks it is, and it's falling down the stairs, and it's it's still a child, and it's obviously, if you try to play that nowadays in the way that cinema has developed to the stage that it is now, people would complain that it's
too silly.
Yeah, that I'm too smart for that kind of stupidity of joke. Okay, I get that, but that's not the film's fault. That's you. You walked into this film thinking that you were too smarter than this film. Nobody did that with RoboCop back in 1987. They were walking in, they didn't know what the heck. They were like, oh my god, it's a robot! It's a robot man! I don't give a fuck what the robot man's going to do. I just want to see Robot Man. Now, if you showed the robot, if you put RoboCop up there, people would laugh at it before they've even walked into it. Because they'd be like, oh, the suit looks so absurd and stupid. Like you said, with Greasy Strangler, you've got to, and I say the same thing with like Napoleon Dynamite. I remember Napoleon Dynamite had the same kind of comedy aspect. You've got to kind of you've got to leave your brain at the door when you walk into a film, and only switch it on halfway through when you go, what's the movie trying to say to me? And if you're okay to kind of just go with what the movie's trying to say, the jokes will do their own job for you. Somebody brought up in the chat earlier a trailer that I've recently seen, and I was going to take you to see the film, didn't I? It's like Bob and Frank, I think it is. It's about this weird guy who's an inventor.
Makes a robot.
And he makes a robot with a washing machine belly. And it's literally just a guy pretending to be a robot. But it's kind of in the same context as Robot and Frank, where you've got this loner guy living on his own, makes this really obscure robot, and the jokes in its universe, I think, are going to be funny. And I think that the way that the movie tells us of who these characters are, then we'll get behind it. If it tried to do it in any other kind of realistic tone, the jokes would massively fall flat.
I would also say you've got like Wes Anderson films.
Oh,
like
yes.
The Life Aquatic, the Royal Tenenbaums, any of his films. Another absurd kind of film that's, again, not mainstream, but I think it was called Dave Builds a Maze.
Right,
And it's basically this guy builds a cardboard fort in his living room.
Oh, yeah.
But then when people go inside it,
yeah.
it becomes a massive labyrinth of cardboard rooms and corridors
Yeah.
that everyone gets stuck in and has to try and figure out a way out. So, I don't know, I think they're out there, but I don't know. So, I think absurdist humour, and again, because humour is subjective, depends what you find absurd and what somebody else does can be different.
Yeah.
So I hope we answered your question, David, but it's...
Comedy is subjective.
Yeah. Okay, so we got a question here from Tom Sexton.
What up, Sexton?
Quick question: Doomslayer versus Pinhead. Who wins? I've said Doomslayer will win. You know, I'm not sure even an army of Cenobites can stop the Doomslayer, unless Pinhead turns up right at the start before Doomslayer even picks up a weapon. Then Pinhead might have a chance. But even in hand to hand, I think Doomslayer probably killed Pinhead.
Yeah, are we talking Doomslayer Doom 2016? Because he's like super OP in that. Like
exactly. Yeah.
Like if we're talking 1993 Doom guy,
I'm guessing
might
modern.
get a chance with chains and things like that. But once he gets hold of that berserk, you know, he's just gonna jump on him and rip his fucking head.
Exactly. Yeah. All the Cenobites should be running.
That's it.
Running.
Yeah, run.
Next question is from Havard Ryan.
What up, Havard?
Do you think that people are born with the trait to love movies, or is it acquired throughout a life? When did you know you were a movie lover? I think I've answered something similar before.
Yeah.
One of my earliest memories ever is of seeing Jungle Book in the cinema. And so as far as I've always known, I've loved film. Always watched as many films as possible. And I think it's probably acquired. I don't think anybody's born with the trait to say that they're going to enjoy movies more than somebody else. I think it's definitely going to be your upbringing. Whereas my dad recorded, you know, we had a catalogue of more than 1,000 VHS tapes numbered from all the movies we had copied from Dodgy Dave down the road that came around in his van every week.
Yeah.
You know, compared to all the films that we recorded off TV, taping out the adverts. Those long play tapes sometimes where you had to record overnight because the film you wanted to watch was on at 2 a.m. Like the first time Dawn of the Dead ever played in the UK on TV.
Yeah.
I think having parents that love film will definitely.
I agree. It's a bit like this is a bit like the nature nurture debate, and and I'd agree.
Yeah.
It's my dad loved films. And so
he shared it with you.
I
and you
grew up.
Yeah.
Watching lots of films.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
I find this all the time because I'm always asking people if I don't know you, but I need to spend some time with you. I need to obviously get warmed up to you because I'm a weirdo, and people don't like me very easily because of my tone and my look and all this kind of stuff. But I always find nowadays the easiest way I can.
love you, dear.
Yeah, I know, but it takes a while. You know, some people, you know, we gotta grow. I gotta grow on people, but I found over the last few years that if I ask somebody what their favorite film is, I can kind of gauge what kind of mentality this person is. So like recently in work, we've had a bunch of new people start work with us, and I've had to work with them, and I can't remember all their names, so I've got to kind of remember what their favorite films are. So it's like, hey, what's your favorite film? And it was funny because they're all of a certain age. They're all in their like early, but they're not even 20s yet. A lot of them do have the same kind of ideas. Like, oh, I really like Marvel movies. I'm like, brilliant. I love Marvel movies as well. I like Harry Potter series. Brilliant. I can get in Harry Potter. But you'll find every now and again, it happens rarely, but every now and again you get this one person who goes, oh, I don't really watch films.
Yeah.
And you go, in my mind, I'm like, are you fucking what? Are you mad? Or are you fucking like? They could just be pretending I don't watch films because they don't really want to answer the question. But I bug them because I'm like, I need to know what it is, why you don't watch films.
So what do you do instead?
What do you do instead? You know, and easily they can turn around and they say, well, I really like music, and I go, and then you'll find that they like certain music of certain films. You know, they only like musical movies. They don't watch horrors. They don't watch action. You find people who go, oh yeah, I watch nothing but really aggressively violent, destructive movies that make me feel like I've licked the darkest side of a toilet, you know? And you're like, so you don't watch Disney movies? Fuck Disney movies. Disney movies are the devil's ball bag. I need to watch this Korean, you know, blacklisted fucking rare movie that nobody ever watches because it'll make your eyes bleed. It's like, maybe just, I don't know, watch a Star Wars movie. You know? Or it's like with you when you go like, I cannot stand watching an Adam Sandler movie, but then I'm like, I have to watch them to see if they are generally still being as bad as they are, you know.
Yeah.
It's open to everybody, but you'll find that somebody has watched a film sometime and has decided that either yes, I really want to watch more, or nope, I never want to go to the cinema ever again.
Yeah.
I have to say, it's hi DMC Campbell.
Yeah, hi Campbell.
Yeah,
hi
hi
Nella.
Campbell. Yes, I do love a good disaster movie, as you know.
Yeah.
Right. I think this next question is going to be a very quick answer.
Right.
I might be surprised.
Okay.
But it's from Katie Clements.
What up, Katie?
Your opinions on the royal family.
Oh, I saw this one.
Yeah, I did. I saw this one.
I did have thought of this one. So we've just had the big Jubilee.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We had a 4-day celebration celebrating the Queen Elizabeth's 70 years on the throne. And in those 70 years, I've been alive for 40 of them. I'll be 40 this November. And I have to say, not being the biggest royal family supporter or anything, I do think they do some good in comparisons to the rest of the world. We have a lot of freedom over here in the UK in comparisons to some parts of the world that have nothing at all. You know, if you really look at it, especially with certain things that are going on in America at the moment and certain things that are going on in Europe, we at least have a queen. Some people say she doesn't do anything. I think she keeps the government in check. I also think the government kind of keeps her in check because she's not allowed to just decapitate whoever. We could have fucking Henry VIII sat on the fucking throne just marrying wife after wife after wife and decapitating them. We don't. We have a bit of freedom. We have a bit of democracy. We have...
So what is your opinion on it?
Well,
it's good.
I think
So I think actually it's quite good that we do have a royal family. I think it's, you know, there's not many countries that do have a royal family. I don't think people, and I'm not a big royalist by any means or anything like that.
I think it's the generation above us that were.
Yeah, totally. But I don't think people understand how much actually other countries do like the fact
our royal family,
that we have a royal family, and how much tourism that actually it brings in and revenue on that side. People don't kind of understand that side of things.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like to be a royal member of the royal family. I think they've got quite a sucky life, to be honest.
Yeah, they're under a camera wherever they go.
It is that, you know, their life is not their own.
Yeah.
And I do, you know, yes, there's been things, you know, question you see like, you know, on the news over the time, especially with late when Diana died and things like that, how the Queen was ridiculed for that and everything like that. But she has devoted. You can't argue the fact that she has devoted her life.
Yeah.
To
this image,
this
upholding
this, you know, this title.
Yeah.
And actually, you know, she's done a bloody good job of that.
70 fucking years.
And she's still like, you know, she's in her 90s now, and then has had to take a step back.
Yeah. Because
obviously for obvious reasons. But there's a lot of people that have got a lot of admiration for her, particularly. There are some royals that don't deserve admiration.
Yeah.
And then there are others that actually are, I think, good people and trying to do good things by our country. So it's an interesting one, that one.
Yeah. I don't have too many opinions on the royal family one way or the other. But I did enjoy The Crown for a couple of seasons at least. Anyway, it was a good enough insight, slice of life as to what life is like in that palace. And yeah, it was fascinating, but yeah, I don't really.
But that's my point entirely as well. Is the fact that like you can have no opinion of her.
Well, not a strong opinion. Anyway.
No. But that's what I mean. You can have no opinion on her, negatively or positively, regardless. But without her influence, you'd been unable to actually have the life that you've had. The freedom that you've been able to have to do whatever you wanted in the context of what you wanted to do. You wouldn't be able to do it in North Korea.
Well, I mean, that's more of a government thing, I think, than the
It
royal
is.
family
I
thing.
don't think. Yeah, obviously the government, they report, she has to sign off things and things like that as part of her job and things
we
like
want
that.
internet. Here we go. Let's have the modems, everybody. What's that? Do you want Xbox Live?
How much influence she has over decisions is, I don't think, is a lot.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, the government
she decides on all the films that are released. Yes, release all the Marvel movies. Let's have Morbius released, please.
Okay.
Next question is from George Smith.
What up, George?
What movie pitch would work best with the "in space" tag? Example: Ace Ventura in space.
Oh,
yeah.
So I had a quick think about it, and the only one I came up with was Evil Dead in space.
Star Wars in space. No.
Lost in space.
That's what he thinks.
Oh
yeah.
This is
I just had one just in my mind.
Bugs Bunny in space
with jam.
Clerks in space.
Yes.
Clerks in space.
Just a diner that just floats around in space. I could see that.
Aquaman in space, Batman in space. I mean, Thor is about to go to space, isn't he?
He's already been in space.
He's already in space.
Yeah. Spider-Man in space.
He's already been in space.
Yeah.
I want to go to space.
Gary in space.
Yes.
Wasn't that Final Space though?
That was Final Space. Yeah.
Final Space.
Oh dear.
Alrighty, well that was the end of the Facebook questions.
Woo!
So let's jump. Oh wait a minute.
Oh, what have you done?
What have you done?
I'm not seeing any of the questions in the queue.
Oh, he's broken, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
That can't be right. I've refreshed it.
Oh, brilliant!
Everything's there.
He's fixed it.
Everything's there. We're fine. So we have a question from Jay Hines.
What up, Jay?
Yay, Jay. How you doing, Jay? How's life?
Thoughts on The Boys?
I've
not watched it.
Not watched it.
Oh wow!
Because we don't have Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Though I've read the first volume of the
I would
comic
like
book.
to watch it.
I don't know if you would.
No, I would like to watch it.
Are you sure? Because it's...
No, I know it's... Yeah,
dear, the comic book was... Even I had to put the comic book down at one point and be like, that was a bit much. And
I
then
still
they
want to watch it.
we're making this into a TV show. And I was like, okay. Okay, Jay, she's going to watch The Boys.
The Boys is a contender, Jay, to be on my list. What would have been on my list today of rewatchable TV shows.
Yeah.
Every episode is of a superior quality to most other genre shows. The gore and practical and CGI effects are movie level. They are great. The performances, I mean, it's a parody of DC. It's Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Batman, but all of the shadier, darker, horrible versions of those characters. But there are some good characters in there. But even the heroes of the show, most of them are just as fucked up and bad as the superheroes they're trying to kill.
Carl Urban is amazing.
So, I'd read the first issue of the book. I didn't read much beyond it. I was more interested in reading The Preacher. But yeah, Carl Urban is fantastic. All the cast in The Boys are great.
Yeah.
But I was hooked from the first episode right up to where we are now. And it's a show that when it ends, I'm kind of be a bit sad. I'm like, I want more time in that universe. And I'm kind of a little bit tired of superhero stuff. But I'm still watching Umbrella Academy and The Boys. So testament to both of those shows for doing superhero stuff that's still refreshing, interesting, exciting, edge of your seat entertainment. So, yeah.
I agree, Jay. I do. I love Carl Urban. I think he's great.
He swears a lot.
Yeah.
And he's great at it.
He's great. He's great in Dread.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for your question, Jay. We got a question from Richie DBZ.
What up, Richie DBZ?
First off, happy belated Father's Day. Hope you had a great day. My question is, if you could make a prequel sequel to any horror movie, what would it be and why?
I thought this one, and I was thinking The Thing. Though obviously the wife was just like, but they've already made a prequel.
So you'd have to make the sequel.
I'm thinking the prequel would be set 10,000 years in the past, where the ship has landed, the creature has fallen out and been encased in the ice, but they've actually managed to get a bit off. Like you've got like a whole Neanderthal kind of Eskimo tribe, who find a bit. It turns one of them, and then they end up having to kill it later on in the ice, and they're all destroyed. But then the sequel, then you'll have...
See, I wanted the sequel to find out what happened to McCready.
Well, yeah, but that's it. You'll have the 1982 movie, and then you'll have the sequel where you find out about McCready, but they'll find, dun dun dun, one of these Neanderthal people, and it's frozen in the ice, and you're wondering if he's a thing or not. Spoilers, he is. So.
I'm very happy with The Thing to be a standalone movie.
Oh, yeah. You don't have to do The Thing.
Yeah, I know. Give me, we already said don't need it, but give me that Ash vs. Evil Dead Season 4.
Yeah.
Or give me Evil Dead 3.
Would you watch an Evil Dead prequel show, which doesn't have Ash in it, but it's set in medieval times? Where you follow,
the medieval dead.
Where you follow a group of them who are sent out to find the book and return it back to the castle, and each one is like...
That doesn't hook, no. It doesn't hook me.
It's not got Bruce Campbell.
It's got to have Bruce Campbell, isn't it?
It does, yeah. I mean, we're getting Evil Dead without Bruce this year.
I might watch a prequel of Hellraiser following the guy, the Pinhead's human character before he turned. That'd be a nice story.
I think, because they're looking at doing a Hellraiser TV series, I think maybe one episode on his character.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I said, when you, looking at this question, I said, what, is there a good horror movie that hasn't already actually got a prequel or a sequel to it?
No.
Cabin in the Woods.
And you said Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah, that was your one.
But again, I don't think it needs a prequel. The prequel to Cabin in the Woods is The Ring, The Grudge, any other horror movie that's ever existed is the prequel to Cabin in the Woods.
It's quite tricky, really, isn't it, to think of something that hasn't already been done.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great question, Richie, but a tough one as well. Alrighty, next question is from Matt Midgley.
What up, Matt Midgley?
Question for Linda.
Yeah.
What's your go-to feel-good movie?
God.
Oh, yeah.
Is it Grease? Is it
a disaster movie?
Well, it's not exactly feel good, is it?
Well, no, but you kind of feel good at the end when they've survived. Like what's the Rock one? Skyscraper. That's got quite a feel good ending when he's survived.
Millions dead, but I feel good because I didn't die.
I don't know. It's quite a tough question. Really.
For me, my ultimate feel good is Evil Dead 2.
Again, that's feel good.
Yeah. Because I'm not having a miserable day like Ash is having in that film.
Work shit.
It's films, go-to films of I suppose that when when you don't want to see the Marvel films.
Yeah.
Any of the Marvel films actually
are
ones that I go to if I want a bit of.
I'll give you that. The Guardians of the Galaxy was
Guardians
so
of the Galaxy.
Fun. The camaraderie, the family unit.
So
the dysfunctional family unit.
if I'm at loss and I want it, and I'm feeling like I just need to watch something that just cheers me up or whatever. Yeah. It is the Marvel films.
There
that I
is
like
not
to go
one Marvel movie that doesn't make me feel good at the end of it. I know everybody has their own pictures and everyone hates it, but
you haven't seen Eternals yet.
No, I have. I have seen Eternals.
You felt happy at the end of that.
I did because it was over, and it was over, and I'm like, man, how did anybody let this movie go? It's so fucking bad. But what I mean is, it's in the actual proper era, from Iron Man to Endgame, I when I hear Just a Girl by No Doubt, I immediately go to the fight sequence. with Brie Olsen and fucking Captain Marvel. You know, like, I know a lot of people say, well, fucking Black Panther was shoehorned in. I like Chadwick Boseman. You know, I think he is funny. And
who's that again?
Black Panther.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
And his back and forth with Killmonger. Like, I love Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
All the other ones, Ragnarok. Oh, man.
Oh, Ragnarok was hilarious.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, but it kicks you really hard. But when
you forget that there was Ragnarok actually happened in that too. You remember how funny it was.
You watch Odin die. You watch all those Asgardians get fucked up by Hela. But it's still, especially when the Hulk's flying in, you're like, no, don't hit him in the face. It's great. Yeah.
So hopefully we answered your question there, Matt. Thank you for the question.
You did say.
I will always go to a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Nice. We have a question here from Mongo Mitch.
What, Mongo.
Ian, question: what is the most underrated and overrated lead singer in a band?
I want to say the Gallaghers from Oasis.
Underrated or overrated?
Overrated. Underrated, I've always thought, was Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit, because I just thought, no, seriously, like, his lyrics were, you know, he can
They're
write
really catchy.
really well. They're really catchy. They're really catchy, and he's still making albums now. And he, you know, if you think about all the new metal guys that came out, like Limp Bizkit was bigger than Korn back in the day, because they at least they made sense. You know, Korn was like, and everyone was just going crazy.
Overrated Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
I mean, I could not listen to him.
Like,
so I couldn't.
The 90s music in the UK I thought was always overrated. Like the Stone Roses.
No, I love the Stone Roses.
Like Oasis, like Blur. I'm like, well, it must have been like a live gig thing. You had to go see these people live.
Ian doesn't do live gigs.
But I'd listen to like Oasis and be like,
you're my wonder.
yeah, what is this? This isn't singing to me. I'm watching people get pissed up and take pills and listening to Oasis, saying
it was a great time. It was the time of Oasis. Yeah.
But that's it. Same with some of the 80s music that came out. You had to be there at the time. For me, it's Limp Bizkit, because that was my music at the time.
Sum 41, Limp Bizkit. It was like that.
Sum 41!
They were all at the same time.
No, Sum 41 was a couple of years later, but I see your point.
Yeah.
I see your point. You're like the same with you with like Children of Bodom and like
yes,
like that heavy rock. I'm like, what the fuck are we listening to? You gotta listen to the lyrics. I can't even hear the fucking song anymore. But yeah. So, I don't know music.
For me, Children of Bodom was never about the lyrics. It was all about the melodies. The rock guitar solos were just incredible. So fast, so energetic. Immediately gives me the up and go.
Yeah.
Alrighty, thank you so much for your question, Mitch. Next question is from Gabriel Jones.
What up, Gabriel?
Question predominantly for Ian, but
thanks.
All answers welcome.
Sweet.
Who would be your ideal tag team partner from any era? I already knew. Is it the
Oh man, it's going to be the Undertaker.
WWE,
but when I
WWF.
saw the question earlier, Seth Rollins. Man, Seth Rollins is... Oh man, he's slowly climbing up the ranks to being one of the greatest wrestlers of all time in my eyes. Seriously. This man can wrestle. This man can promo. This man has main evented so many main events over the last 3 to 4 years. It's amazing that he's still able to go as well as he is. He has the best dress sense. He comes out in some of the most horrible fucking suits ever a man should ever wear, and he still makes them look amazing. It's just...
I have a question.
Okay.
Which version of Undertaker would you love to have him do a tombstone on you?
I would take 1997 to 1999 Undertaker, which is the one with the little tear in his eye. It's the one just before he met Kane, and it was where you were starting to realise that he's got this back history, that his family has died. But it was the period in his time when he came down to the ring, he would shoot his arms up and the lights would go up really quickly, and I don't know why they stopped, because it just... That was I think that was when people started to really get into the Undertaker's power. Oh, he's making the lights go up. Oh my God, that's magic, you know. And he doesn't do that anymore. He raises his hand slowly, which doesn't seem to have the same effect, but he was just, Attitude Era Undertaker.
Nice.
Yeah.
If I was to have a wrestling tag team partner, I'd probably go with Edge.
Nice.
I mean, I'm tiny anyway, but like I'm not gonna like choose any of the mega like the like Triple H's or the Rocks or anything, because they're just give us someone more.
He'd be like the Max Mini around them.
Yeah, give me in a table cheddar and chairs. I've had nothing to drink.
No, I'm the one.
But you know what I meant.
Yeah.
Thank you for the question. Next question is from Del Boy.
What up, Del Boy?
Have you guys heard of the new Tulsa King TV show with Sylvester Stallone, written by the Sopranos writer?
No.
Not heard of it at all, Del Boy. The new Tulsa King TV show with Sylvester Stallone.
Well, we'll have to check that
Well,
out.
I mean,
Podcast.
Sopranos writer.
Yeah.
No, thank you for...
man, if it's Sylvester Stallone as well, like...
Yeah.
Tell me the last bad thing Sylvester Stallone did.
Probably Expendables 3.
But you still watched it and was like, that was...
Oh, yeah, I watched it in the cinema. I watched all three of them in the cinema. I'll watch a fourth if they make it, but it was still bad. It was still bad. But yeah, thank you for bringing that one to our attention, Del Boy. Not heard of it. We'll check it out.
Yes.
Next question is from Morphiend.
What up, Morphiend?
Hey guys, happy podcast. Speaking of TV shows, what is the most dull, waste of time season of a show that started out decent that you've seen recently? For me, it was DC's Titans Season 3.
Oh.
So a show that started off promising, but became really dull.
You've been watching some stuff recently.
Like what?
What, I'm sure you were watching something. No, I think it was just a reminder of DC, actually. I think you came up the stairs after watching Stargate and told me you started watching, like, Supergirl. It was so bad.
I never watched it. It was like
just
a
on.
snippet on that it's like 5 minutes before Stargate came on.
And it was just
I wasn't
so bad.
watching it. No. There was a really bad. That
Yeah.
I did see, and I said to you, "What on earth is this crap?"
Yeah. Was it like the DC
It
Things
was
of Tomorrow?
Legends of
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, or something like that. Oh my god, it was shocking.
Yeah.
Somebody in the chat just wrote it and said Arrow, which was the Green.
The Green Arrow TV.
I started watching that. It was the beginning of the CW superhero verse.
Yeah.
I guess. I tapped out of Arrow after like 4 episodes. Then I watched all of season 1, started season 2, and tapped out again when the actor who played Crixus in Spartacus turned up and was like the one who taught him everything. I just zoned out again. I know a lot of people did love the CW superhero verse, but I tuned into it again when they did the big Superman celebration, when they got Tom Welling back from Smallville, when they got lots of different Supermen together all on screen at once. It was awful. It was so cheap looking. I was like, no, I'm out. I'm tapping out. Not coming back.
I was the same. I tapped out of Lost. I tapped out of Heroes.
Heroes tapped out of that because that's one of those.
I tapped out of Sons of Anarchy midway. That was more of a personal thing of like I've enjoyed 3 seasons of Sons of Anarchy. I know it's gonna die a death. It's not like it died a death. I just didn't think they could keep the series going as well as they had to at that point. Fucking bad TV series.
I'm sure there's been
or
lots.
ones that started off great. But
problem is they were so bad. We've actually wiped them. From our
that's
memories.
what happens. That is what happens.
Yeah.
You don't even think about them anymore. You just don't even buy the DVDs. You're just like, no, that series existed. Oh, I didn't watch it.
Yeah. It's so easy to forget them and move on. But great question though, Morphiend.
Yeah.
Okay, I believe that was all of the questions that came through on Channel Points.
Nice.
But we got one exception.
Okay.
Because we got one question here from Oink Master Supreme.
What up, Oink Master?
Sending their love from the Hudson Valley, New York area.
Oh, cool.
I love you guys. Could you pick a good translation project going from animation to film what would it be? For me, hands down, it would be The Last Unicorn. I know that Unicorn would be CGI, but that's okay. When we've seen, unfortunately, I'm saying unfortunately because the biggest one that comes to mind is unfortunately The Lion King, which is an absolute soulless waste of time. I mean, I've watched. If you guys ever come across, what's it? Is it Your Movie Sucks?
Yeah,
I think it's the YouTube channel, and he's done. It's only part 1, and it's almost. I think it's like an hour and a half long. A breakdown analysis of all the reasons why the live action in marks is a bad remake of Lion King, and it just shows how soulless it is in terms of even the dialogue doesn't emote the same strength as it did in the original. But I will also argue against or for a live actioning. Was the Jungle Book. Jungle Book near and dear to my heart, but I've enjoyed both the live action-ish, there's lots of CGI in there, adaptations. So I think it can work. But those both of those Jungle Books did.
Beauty and the Beast was.
I didn't actually see that
As
one.
a live action.
It's not bad.
Yeah. But the 2 Jungle Books, they took the original material and changed it around and played with it instead of just doing it exactly the same.
Yeah.
So.
Some of the live action Disney ones they've worked and they've not worked. Beauty and the Beast, I thought.
Aladdin, I didn't hear
Aladdin.
good things about Aladdin.
No, Aladdin did not work.
You didn't. I didn't mind it.
It worked.
But I liked Will Smith. So.
It worked to a point, but when they kind of shoehorned in Jasmine's song about being this strong female character, I was just like, you didn't need to do that. I knew that she was a strong female character. Putting the song in is just. That was for the girls, the kids, to emphasize it up. I'd love for them to live action Sword in the Stone.
Nice, yeah.
I think Sword in the Stone would be a great live action. I also I think they should remake Bedknobs and Broomsticks. Bedknobs and Broomsticks is amazing.
It is great.
Love that movie. Trying to think of other animations. They should make a live action Lord of the Rings movie.
Oh, you think they should? Yeah, they should get that guy from New Zealand on it.
What, the guy who did Brain Dead?
Yeah, he'd be great. Could you imagine how crazy that film would be?
It would be like fucking 9 hours long,
but
3
it's got to
movies.
start the hippo from Meet the Feebles has got to play Gandalf.
What about some of the anime?
What, like Akira and
like
things like
Spirit
that?
Away.
Oh, no.
I mean, they're just beautifully drawn and animated.
You'd
be ashamed to live action it.
Proper anime, you can never live action because when you make the anime, you see the beauty in the drawings, and it's the same with the old Disney movies. Like you watch Lion and King, you see the art style and the wildebeest coming over the top of that ridge, and when you watch the behind the scenes of the computer is working on it. When they turn it to live action, it loses it because you just know the computer did all the work, and there's not somebody there. Blood, sweat, and tears. Like if you live actioned Akira, it would bomb.
They've been trying for some time now.
They shouldn't.
Yeah. I think we talked about it when we reviewed it. I think it was Leonardo DiCaprio's company that wanted to.
They tried to
make it.
They did Ghost in the Shell, didn't they? Live action.
Yeah, that was James Cameron co-produced.
Scarlett Johansson in it. It still bombed like a.
Yeah. Well, they did. Was it Cowboy Bebop on Netflix?
Live action
and that
Cowboy Bebop
cancelled after one season
as well.
So going live action with these animated projects is usually a big no-no.
It's
like doesn't work.
It only really works if you've got the proper heart behind it. Like anything by Studio Ghibli is so beautifully drawn, you just feel the heart behind it.
Yeah.
If they live action it, it just like what was it I was watching last night before I fell asleep? Fucking Battle Angel Alita.
Right.
Alita Battle Angel, and I'd wanted to watch.
Wasn't that the James Cameron one?
It could have been James Cameron.
Yeah.
But live action,
Yeah.
And I was trying to get into it, but the CGI of the robot girl was so off-putting.
I never actually watched it.
Oh man,
I saw the trailer, but I was like, no.
Like we say about Uncanny Valley, like your brain's trying to. I could not look at her for too long because her eyes were just so weird,
just floating.
Yeah, I knew she was a robot and she wasn't really there, but everybody's acting really well with her. Christoph Waltz was in it. He's a really great actor. Couldn't make me look at the robot for too long though. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, before you mentioned Sword in the Stone, I also thought of it because it's one of my favorite Disney films. Like, was it Madame Mem?
Yeah.
And Archimedes the Owl.
Yeah.
Yeah. So many great scenes in that
Blow
film.
me to Bermuda, and then he shoots. Great.
Yeah. Yeah. Good question. No, I can't think of any other animated ones. No. Alrighty.
No.
Well, one last final question before we bow out. It's not really a question,
Right.
but a request.
Okay.
Can I get a Kurt motherfucking Russell from you all?
Kurt
motherfucking Russell. Hell yeah, you can.
Yeah.
With that, I just want to say a huge thank you for everyone for tuning in and listening to this podcast through. I want to thank you, Linda and Ian, for an awesome conversation on most rewatchable TV shows. And of course, a huge thank you to everyone for tuning in and listening. We'll be back next month with podcast number 47. We'll try and get the theme of that one sorted and ready to go.
Yes,
of course, you can find us on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Patreon. And of course, you can also find us on YouTube every Thursday with a new film review. With that being said, thank you so much, everyone. We'll see you next time.